like you're losing track. I know your heart bleeds. Don't lose your mind. Just let it be, let it be. Know you're dying inside. I know it gets harder. Days get longer. But close your eyes. It's gonna be alright. I know it gets harder. Days get longer. But close your eyes. It's gonna be alright. It's gonna be alright. I know it gets harder. Days get longer. Close your eyes. It's gonna be alright. I know it gets harder. Days get longer. Close your eyes. It's gonna be alright. Don't look back. Know you feel like you're losing track. I know your heart bleeds. Don't lose your mind. Just let it be, let it be. Know you're dying inside. I know it gets harder. Days get longer. Close your eyes. It's gonna be alright. I know it gets harder. Days get longer. But close your I know it gets harder. Days get longer. Close your eyes. It's gonna be alright. I know it gets harder. Days get longer. Close your eyes. It's gonna be alright. Close your eyes.
the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. It is the start of a new series of broadcasts for us tonight. It is Prep Week. Obviously, an institution like Boise State loves to look at new talent in the high school market to see if there are any potential recruits, of course. And tonight is the first broadcast of high school, showcasing high school matches across the nation. Tonight, we're going to start off with some old friends, the Missouri Scholastic Esports Federation, and a great matchup between Francis Howell and Blue Springs High School. I'm your host, Jacob Jem Palmer, joined by Brenner Bearlad to start things off. Brenner, Blue Springs and Francis Howell. Now, I know you weren't here with us for the first time we did Missouri Scholastic Esports, but these two teams are very established, kind of top of the meta, if you will. But the one thing that I kind of want to say that's kind of the main thing, the main difference I kind of want to set you up for tonight is we see a lot more opportunities kind of at the high school level for those solo ultimates, you know, those pentakill death blossoms that just wipe out the whole team, as opposed to collegiate level where it's much more strategic. So if we're going to expect some big solo ultimates, what do we want to look out for?
I mean, if we're looking out for big solo ultimates, then the definite key that we want to watch is those DPS players, because very rarely do we see like the big six-man shatter from Ryan's. You know, we always see 5s and 4s and less than that, but the big 6-man is definitely the key we want to see. And it's hard for other tanks on that position to get the big, like, 6 game-changer ult other than, like, the Ryan and the Zarya, who have those kind of game-changing ults to play around. And same with the supports. We don't really have offensive support ults other than possibly the Amplification Matrix or the Coalescence, but even then, those need the tanks or even sometimes the DPS to play off of. Same with the Nano Boost. So I definitely think the DPS players are going to be the ones to watch for sure. Her, just as we'd see in competitive play, the game changers, they have the giant solo ults. And in this high school level of play, we can also see a lot of variability from the typical meta we're used to seeing in a lot of higher skill level tournaments. So high school is definitely going to be a lot more open, and I'm very curious to see what kind of strats they pull out, because these high school players definitely pay attention to the meta and want to become part of the professional leagues, so they want to work towards that and play those correct heroes. But at the same time, they always have their own comfort picks, and when you're not doing well, you want to play your comfort picks. So we might see some pretty unique team comps coming out of this, and I'm really excited to see how that plays out.
Well, this would be a great time to go over Doc's keys to the game, since this is kind of fresh for everybody here. It's just some initial starting points to think of. In Overwatch, that's never to take a fair fight. That means to take fights in unexpected places when your opponents are unprepared and when you can have ability advantages. Those are Doc's keys to the game, brought to you by Drop-In Gaming. Drop-In Gaming is the premier online platform for gamers who seek competition. You can play your favorite games to win cash and prizes through free and paid entry matches and tournaments. Whether you are new to the scene or a seasoned veteran, Drop-In Gaming has the right games and competition for you. To begin your competitive gaming journey, sign up at dropingaming.com. Alrighty, so let's take a look at how this is going to work for the Missouri Scholastic Esports Federation. It's going to be a best-of-5 control hybrid escort assault. The correct order, if you ask me. It's going to be high school teams at a state and national competition with some of the top players at this level in the U.S. So we're going to be very interested to see how this turns out. Starting out on control, this is kind of a new horizon for us, if you will, because you know, we're so used to starting out on Lijon, but this is kind of new, a new level tournament. So what kind of control maps would you like to see starting off?
I mean, I've already had my goal map of Route 66 on the Escort. So going over to control maps, we see a lot of, as you mentioned, the Lijiang Tower. We very rarely see the Oasis. We recently saw Busan coming to the picture in our own Play Versus tournament. So on the side of control maps, I'd actually really like to see Ilios more often. We see a lot more team play on the point with the 3 maps on Ilios. We have the giant well, so they're always playing around that, trying to take the enemy side, and you have to get aggressive with it. Whereas if we go over to the lighthouse, it's off to the side, and it's constant team brawl on that point. Whereas if you go to the final map of Ilios, it's also more aggressive. So as we jump into this Busan, actually, we're already going to see a different team comp as in the traditional meta with a Soldier Tracer and a McCree Tracer. So definitely a more higher mobility team on both sides.
And just a quick shout out, new tournament, new players, new overlay as well. We want to thank production for keeping us up to date here at Boise State Esports, and we will get those standings set up very soon here, but it looks like Blue Springs in the blue, of course, and Francis Howell on the other side. Blue Springs is going to be able to get one person on the point, but is down one. Their Cassidy gets taken out very soon here. Has respawned. Francis Howell has now made a point for themselves. They're going to be able to take out. It's Blaze actually taking out their Brig, but that one pick is not going to be enough for Francis Howell to give up this point.
Yeah, this is a near perfect mirror match right now with only the DPS and tanks being different, as we see a good early elimination from the D.Va onto the Soldier, trying to take out those DPS from both sides as they're constantly trading.
And some trades going back and forth, as well as some ultimates, as we saw at Transcendence be brought out. It's going to be enough for Francis Howell to get up to 30 at least, as it looks like their Zen is trying to get as much charge as they can as KC Vet gets taken out, as well as PNG also being eliminated. Again, a trade here, but another double from Banley there is going to be enough for Blue Springs to flip it.
Yeah, Banley is definitely going to be someone we want to watch, as he already has that high noon Deadeye up. Same with Noodles on that Transcendence coming online. I mean, Francis is definitely going to have to watch out for it, as they don't have any ults online, with the sites being the closest one, but him getting taken out already by Noodles is not what you want to see, especially being caught out like that. These teams definitely need to regroup and go for a solid push right now. Even with how high speed their heroes are, having a group push is definitely what you need to try to take over someone like Brandley, who has been getting multiple double eliminations and has the ultimate ready to go. As they even get the rally online, having both supporters, Blue Springs could easily launch into this next team fight with it, so I'd keep an eye on both of them.
Flashbang is going to help take out Amphibian there, as well as Chop being taken out by Bandley. Now 2 down. Francis Howell might just have to go for a reset here and try not to get staggered out any further. They do have some ultimates that are now online for them, but a nasty stagger looks like it could be going on to their Sigma, and it indeed does. He is down. Another Flashbang going to be tossed onto the Brig there, shortly taken out by the other DPS. That's going to be Blaze. Francis Howell is also going to be using their Transcendence for a bit of survivability. Both teams actually using their Transcendence, as well as KC Vet remeching there. There's going to be the Tactical Visor be brought out. Shut down immediately by Bread, just slamming right down into him, stopping any sort of chance for those ultimates to pay off. Blue Springs is holding firm.
Yeah, it seems these Tracers are kind of the key to eliminate for both teams, as they've both gone pretty heavy anti-Tracer with the Brig and the McCree from the side of Blue Springs. And taking out that Soldier early on with losing the sides. We also saw Blaze attempt with the Pulse Bomb and miss that, but it looks like Blue Springs is going to open up with that rally and see if they will be able to get some value as they lose one to that Gravitic Flux.
Deadeye isn't going to get anyone there, as Amphibian gets taken out by the mines that have been put down by Brett. Just such a great zoning ultimate, especially if you already have the point. And in this case, it looks like with that double from Bandley, you are going to be able to see Blue Springs keeping their place at the top tier of the meta, where we remember them from months ago. They are going to take the first in this round 1.
Yeah, they played that very well and very close as a team. They knew when to push and how to counteract the Francis rotations and eliminate actually their tanks first, which is quite interesting and not something we see a lot. But not having that front line definitely is not what you want to see from an early team play from Francis. So now we saw them quickly swap over to the Rhine for the split second that we had that team roster up. So hopefully we see the Brig stay with that Rhine, because it is a good wombo combo, especially if you're worried about that Tracer who's just been dashing in and out from both sides. Seems Tracer is definitely a favorite of these teams right now.
This map has been the bane of so many teams' existence. We have seen just teams get holed right in their spawn, unable to make their way through those narrow hallways. Both teams are going to meet each other on the upper level here, as Francis Howell looks to push Blue Springs right back into that doorway as Bandley gets taken out. Now going to be trying to focus some damage onto Bread there, who still survives. Blaze taking a little bit of damage, But looks like that they are going to survive for another day. Looks like Blue Springs might be trying to rotate down, trying to get to the point some way. They're going to be walled off there by Francis Howell. Blaze is going to be eliminated by Azzy. Again, Blue Springs find themselves one down. Francis Howell starting off good with some great play from their diva, getting a double and securing them the point.
Yeah, we saw this in the last match. Red started off very strong, but Blue came right back and just took the round. So we have to see if history will repeat itself or Francis will be able to hold on to it this time, especially since they have this amplification matrix so early on. Baptiste is able to charge his ult faster than most support, so hopefully Francis is able to utilize this and stop the push from Blue Springs as he opens up with it.
They are going to find a little bit of an unexpected surprise as Bread tries to flank them, but that stops very soon there as D-Chop there tries to get something with that Deadeye, is going to be unable to. Blue Springs finds themselves one down again in this push. Looks like they're going to commit to another reset here, and we're going to see what they do, especially with Bread trying to flank.
Yeah, Friends is actually running a strat that we see from Boise from time to time with the McCree, May, Ryan, and Diva. Even with the Lucio and Bap, this is definitely a team comp that we know is successful and works consistently as Amp tries to hold back the entire push by himself and even eating an the Pulse Bomb, starting off this team fight right, even though they are down a support.
That's going to be a good... Oh, that Shatter is denied there as Amphibian is taken out, as well as Cobra. We're going to see the Diva Bomb be brought out by Azzy. That's not going to do anything as Azzy was eliminated by Noodles there. Francis Howell getting past that crucial 80% mark when they want to charge this up. Amp Matrix from Haskell isn't going to do too much in defending him from Bandly as Noodles and Dread get one for themselves. Blue Springs taking the point for the first time.
Yeah, but this time Francis is now up to 82%, definitely further than they got on the first control point. So definitely looking a lot better as they now have that May to try with that Blizzard. Just got to watch out for Vet on this Diva, especially having the ult advantage on the side of Blue Springs as they open up with the mines to start off this team fight.
Mines are going to be kind of splitting up the teams here. Some of their tanks just went ahead. The rest of the team now back in that hallway. Blue Springs going to try to pelt as much damage as they can onto them. Banley brings out that Deadeye. Isn't going to get anyone. Unfortunately, Blaze just falls right off the edge. There goes another high noon by D-Chop. Not going to do too much there. But unfortunately for Blue Springs, that just kind of turned out disastrously from them as they weren't aware of their surroundings.
Yeah, and the great Diva Bomb able to pick up one with Banley picking up another, and Brett getting one with his ultimate. Blue Springs having that ult advantage definitely won them this team fight, but now going into this next one, Francis Howell never used that Blizzard, and they're definitely going to have to try to commit to it, while Vet does not have the mech either. So having the aggression here is what you want to see, especially when Blue Springs only has the Pulse Bomb and Transcendence. So having only the 2-to-1 is not what you want to see on the side of Francis, but at the same time, with that Blizzard, it could definitely sway as long as it does not get eaten, as she just now got her mech back as well.
Yeah, that was a great push with that speed boost to get up to that high ground, pick up 2 eliminations there. KC Vet is going to try to even it up by taking out D-Chop there. It looks like some environmentals trying to be gotten by Bread as well, but Francis Howell still has the advantage of this, especially with Blaze being taken out. They do use their 2 ultimates, the Amp Matrix and the Blizzard, and KC Vet being taken out of their mech, as well as Banley being eliminated. But look at this fight back from Bread, Noodles, and Cone here. That might be enough for Blue Springs to take back the point. They certainly need to, as Francis Howell's at 99. Bread getting one with his minefield. Blue Springs needs to make point, but they're going to be stopped right there by the Deadeye. D-Chop with the shot. It is high noon, and that means, I was going to say victory, but probably not quite yet, because Blue Springs still has managed to take back the point with some choice punches from 2 of their teammates.
Yeah, Francis Howell just trickling in with that Lucio all by himself is not what you want to see, stalling for time that you simply don't have, with Blue Springs getting up to 80% and having their own Deadeye come online right now, whereas Francis doesn't have any ultimates close for this possible final team fight, with it now getting at 90%. Blue Springs is gonna have to defend their hearts out as Francis takes the high ground. They need an early pick if they want to secure this win and this map, as once again it's kind of ring around the rosy for both teams.
Oh, just barely. They managed to get their feet on the point, but there goes that Deadeye from Banley is going to put Francis Howell at a disadvantage. They throw down their Amp Matrix. There goes Outtrans and Diva Bomb just right out onto the point. KC Vet is going to take out Amphibian and the remake onto the chop. Blue Springs has managed to roar back with convincing fashion. Looks like they're going to be the ones to take this point and the first round 2-0 in control. That is a great start from a top-tier team. And you are watching Blue Springs versus Francis Howell in the first night of sort of our high school showcase here at Boise State Esports. It's very fun, and you know what else is going to be very fun? If your team looks great, and Skulls are the people to provide that. You can see some of the great designs here. Skulls provides great equipment to both collegiate and high school level teams here. So if you're a team that wants to make a good first impression, we talk about digitally, skins equal wins, but that can be true in real life too. You got to have some great uniforms, and Skulls will be there to provide some of those for you. So check them out if you want to make your team look awesome. Alrighty, we are going to be heading in to the next match, and this is best of 5, so we're not quite at match point yet, but we will see if Blue Springs can continue this huge amount of momentum. Was there anything from Francis Howell, that was still kind of close throughout most of it? So what do you think is Francis Howell's best opportunity to still make a great showing?
I definitely think when you are trickling in, even after you've lost a point, that's just the discipline you need as a team to not do that. We saw them lose multiple people even after they lost it. We saw the McCree with the Deadeye, but they already lost the point at that point. We saw the Lucio and the Ryan trickle in afterwards from underneath, and they lost their lives, which just bought Blue Springs even more time and just free percentage being uncontested. And so definitely Francis has a lot to work on, but they were winning those first team fights and holding the point for a solid duration, but they just stayed on the point and were constantly giving up the high ground that Blue Springs took advantage of and was able to get constant and DPS down onto him from Brandley. So I definitely think Francis needs to work on that target prioritization and positioning.
Well, it looks like we're just going to jump right into the next match here. We're going to be heading to Hollywood, which is kind of interesting because we see Kings Row so often, so it's nice to kind of have that fresh air starting out with Busan. Now moving on to Hollywood. What are we looking at for this particular stage, Brenner?
Yeah, Hollywood is not a map that we traditionally see a lot of the times. We saw Boise play it once with the Teleporter Bastion Symmetra strat, so this time it looks like Blue Springs is going to go for the Orb Tracer. They love that Tracer as it's been working out so well for them. This time Francis is also going to take the Hanzo and Echo, try to disrupt the verticality element that we haven't yet seen in this matchup. And even a great opening from Bread trying to knock up as best they can, but Cobra is able to capitalize on it and take him right out.
Now Francis Howell pushing further onto the point here, just looking to take it in their first push. KC Vet is trying to peek out from behind the wall here, just get some sort of damage onto Francis Howell. He's going to be able to get rid of Azzy, evening it up as the Amp Matrix is thrown down by Pascal, using that to take care of Bread, but he is very low on health right now. He manages to heal up, allowing Francis Howell to stay on the point, go toward their second tick here. A punch from KC Vet is going to take out Pascal finally there and get some presence back for Blue Springs, as well as two from Blaze and Cone. KC Vet finishing up by taking out Cobra, stops Francis Howell at just one tick.
Yep, Blue Springs held on very well. Oh, and with Blaze surviving that team fight with 2 health and able to get the med pack, so they're instantly back in the fight, was fantastic. Blue Springs definitely knows how to play this Tracer and is playing it to the best of their capabilities, along with Noodles now having that Transcendence and Chop with the double dragons, but Blue Springs Diva has yet to eat an ultimate that I've seen, so I'm waiting to see if he'll be able to eat that dragon arrow as he falls very low for this next team fight as they begin to push in with the Orisa shield as well.
There goes the Dragon Strike there. All that's going to happen right now is just that turret taken out. We see KC Vet getting the crucial first pick, but it's evened up by DeChop. They're taking out Banley. Both teams now 5v5. Francis Howell still yet to push through the choke point here. They're trying to maybe take a little bit of a different route here, but are going to be met right by Blaze here, who's carefully guarding those flanks. See Cone using that rally there, giving Blue Springs just a bit more armor. It's enough to actually just put Francis Howell back to a soft reset.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I hope that was more of a fat finger from Blue Springs on that rally, because the armor only lasts so long. And especially for this next team fight, Howell is now evened up with the 2 ults to the 3 of Blue Springs, with a 4th close behind from that Sig. So they really need this early pick if they want to be able to win this next team fight. They are able to take the high ground and the early turret elimination, but they're going to have to watch out for Bread going for that ground pound from behind.
They all go onto the point, which is going to be a death knell for them as Blaze just tears right through them. I love how they use the pulse bomb to take out the turret. Whatever you need to do, Noodles and Vanley stopping Francis Howell with just 2 more eliminations. Now Francis Howell is going to find themselves in a tricky position with less than a minute.
Yeah, Blue Springs has been on this defense game very strong. This Tracer and on this Wrecking Ball have kind of been uncontested in the roaming and just picking off their backline, dealing as much damage as possible. Well, I would love to see a Symmetra coming out from Francis right now to try to go for a play rather than just rushing on speed as fast as they can, even putting everything they have into the turret. And Bradley, they're using every ultimate they have right now to just try to win this team fight.
And Francis Howell is already pushing onto the point. They managed to take out a good number of Blue Springs. We see a little bit of a zoning Deadeye there, which is going to stop any sort of contest here, but there goes a minefield is going to be put out by Bread, and a double bomb there from KCVET is going to be enough for Blue Springs to win this back. Now just as he remains on the point is taken out by Banley. That is going to be a team kill for Blue Springs, and what a way to stop the payload from even being taken.
Yeah, Blue Springs nailed that defense on Hollywood for sure. The Torp turret had to have so much committed to it that they were just getting taken apart on the ground battles, and having the Sig with such low health shields, they were constantly getting taken down and then put on cooldown. So Francis was not able to protect their backline and was constantly just getting dismantled. I definitely would have preferred to see a Diva there, especially with how key that Tracer was from Blaze on Blue Springs. Eating even one of those pulse bombs definitely could have kept the team fight in their favor. So now Francis has all the pressure on as they're now on the defense for Hollywood. And they only got, what, a tick and a half on the point? So now Blue Springs, if they win a single team fight, they'll probably get it.
We're going to find out right here. This would put Blue Springs up to a match point. They would just need to win one more, and they would start their season off in spectacular fashion, especially since it's almost like Francis Howell has just been teased, if you will, with victory, because they've gotten so close to be able to capturing points, but Blue Springs, with the choice play from either Bread or KCVET, who, you know, I do know that those are veterans. We have seen them before from past semesters, and they have been excellent tanks for Blue Springs. So here we go. Blue Springs' first push here. All they have to do is really get past, I believe it was about 70% that Francis Howell got, and Blue Springs just needs to pass that. They want to do so with their first engagement here. They're going to put up that May wall to try to buy them some time, push through here and go toward the point here. They have all made it onto the point as the Orisa is the first one down, and KCVET trying to take down the high ground, trying to surprise this Cassidy here, might be able to take him out, and indeed he is taken out, but it's the Cassidy actually for Blue Springs instead. Cobra is able to get rid of KCVET as well. Blue Springs has suffered heavy casualties, taken 3, and that is going to be enough for them to reset.
Yeah, Blue Springs, it seems it's a habit between these two teams of Francis wins the first team fight, but then Blue Springs will definitely come back a lot more aggressive as they regroup, and Francis is trying to go to rotations to get back to their spots, and already Blue Springs is back on the point.
There we go. KCVET is going to get the first pick as well. Some help from Banley. Job's going to be pushed right off the edge as he high noons is only able to take KCVET out of his mech there. That just might be enough if KCVET can survive on the point. He is. The Dechop goes in, takes out Banley with the punch to Blaze as well. Getting the double, now the triple. Look at Dechop here fighting that Pilot Diva, unable to survive. And that's a quad for Francis Howell in spectacular fashion holding Blue Springs.
Yeah, 5 health and is able to get a quad by himself. As I mentioned at the start of this, the DPS players are the ones we want to watch if they're performing this well. As Noodles is able to get such an early elimination on the Cobra, definitely is what you want to see as Decop gets Bradley as well, but not being on the point, they lose it. Francis, after such an amazing play.
Well, again, just a quick shout out to Skulls, who is providing great equipment to high school teams all across the nation. You are definitely going to want to check them out if you want cool jerseys like this. If your esports team is just making their debut, then Skulls is going to be the one you want to pick. So I don't know if we're going to be taking a break here because it's almost 6, and I believe you have an engagement you have to get to, Brenner. I'm just checking. I'm not sure if we're going in to another match, but I guess we will just find out if we just want to just take a quick break here and be right back. We're actually just going to take a quick look back here at some key plays from this replay here, this great rally that we saw from Chop.
Yeah, Decomp is definitely the MVP of his team so far after getting that amazing quad onto the member of Blue Springs as he was doing the best for his defense there. So Blue Springs but was able to come back and take the point. Hey, but he was definitely proving why he was the better McCree in that situation.
All right, I think we'll take a short break and see if Blue Springs can tie it all up with their match point. It's going to be coming up right after this. You are not going to want to miss that.
Visit NationalGuard.com to begin your Guard adventure.
Here are a couple lessons I've learned over the years. Friendships come in all shapes and sizes. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
Welcome back to the Boise State Esports Game Pants Arena. We are currently covering the Missouri Scholastic Esports Federation in Overwatch. This is the first of our Friday night series showcasing top high school esports talent across the nation. Still watching Blue Springs versus Francis Howell. Blue Springs ready for a match point, so we will see if they can win this match in in Escort. I am still your host, Jacob Jem Palmer, joined by Brenner Bearlad. Now, Brenner, now we get the chance to move on to Escort. All the map picks have been kind of unorthodox for today, so that might give a chance that we can maybe see a little bit more of your favorite Route 66, maybe more past the first checkpoint, which would be nice.
Yeah, that would be fantastic to see. And if we see Blue Springs on the attack, I hope we do see that as well, because both McCrees on both sides have had their moment to shine. On Control, we saw Blue Springs, D. Bradley just pop off absolutely and consistently get double kills all by himself. But at the same time, on that hybrid, we saw their own McCree get a quad by himself and live with 5 HP to tell the tale. So these McCrees have definitely been the people we want to see. They even gotten some decent Deadeyes. Even if it's just a one-on-one, it has made the difference for the attacking push. And same with Blaze on the Tracer and Cobra to whatever he decides to play, honestly. The DPS players have been making or breaking this team. It's just that the tanks and supports definitely need to start playing around them and together, because it seems as soon as they go for a push, they are dismantled one after another.
All right, let's jump into this third match. Blue Springs versus Central Howell in Overwatch. It looks like it's going to be Dorado, though. We've seen that plenty of times here, so we'll see how each of these teams fare on it. Give us your overall thoughts on Dorado, especially considering what we've been seeing, so many strong DPSs.
I mean, early on in Hollywood, we saw on the side of Francis open up with that Echo. They didn't stay on it long, but Echo we've seen just absolutely destroy teams on defense for this starting map. So with Blue Springs now up 2-0, they definitely should continue to play their strengths, as Francis should start playing a bit more conventional to try to throw them off, especially with the defenders already taking such advantage of the high ground, as we see even a Tracer on the roof this time around. Things are not looking good for the attackers, but they do have that Winston and the Mercy, so they can contest that high ground, and hopefully we will see a payoff for them, especially since they are pushing into an Ashe as well.
All right, here we go. Francis Howell starts their first push here. Are going to immediately try to knock Blue Springs off of that high ground, but Amphibian is just going to be taken down immediately as he tries to do that. Francis Howell now running into a bit of trouble here. Their Echo is going to try to take off Red and KC Vet from the roof again, but not putting enough damage to them to make them give up that perch. Blue Springs is doing a great job right now, just kind of sniping down from these upper levels. Here we go again. Look at Amphibian. He's trying to go in all by himself and is just getting pelted by Blue Springs.
Yeah, this is the same thing we saw from Brett on Blue Springs on Hollywood. He would constantly go in the backline by himself and get taken out, as we see D-Chop with even a double of his own, and Paxel taking out Brett. And it seems Francis is going for their own team kill this time around, but is able to take the space and push the cart freely right past this archway, which is honestly the hardest point of this first checkpoint. So Francis is definitely showing signs of life that we'd love to see, and they're doing what they do consistently, winning that first team fight and getting a lot of bonuses on this first objective, as we see Blue Springs clear back on the McCree.
There goes that Diva Bomb out from KC Vet, going to pick up Cobra there right after Chop took out Noodles there with that Pulse Bomb. A double from Amphibian there, and is evened up by Blue Springs. Both these teams now just about even in this fight. Azzy very low on health, taken out of their mech just before they could charge up that bomb. He's taken out by Blaze, who gets a double. Chop evening it up somewhat by taking out Bread, but it's not enough for Francis Howell to push forward.
Yeah, Blue Springs even swapped off their Mercy to go for that comp that we've seen from them so consistently already with that Zen Brig as well. So Francis, with something that we haven't seen them play before, could definitely continue this team fight winning streak, even though they just lost Paxel so early on. Chop on this Tracer has yet to really be contested, just getting a lot of free poke damage and charging that Pulse Bomb as quickly as possible, as Francis now has 2 ults online. Make that soon to be 3.
There goes Bread and Clear picking up Azzy and Paxel there. That's another stop to Francis Howell's push. Now just a little bit of healing up there from Dechop, who is on fire. He cannot be taken out by Blue Springs despite their defense being so good. With the punch is able to take out Bread and is able to kind of clear out that route for Amphibian. push forward toward the payload here. Gives enough time, though, for Blue Springs to respawn. Chop is pushed himself back onto the payload, just pushing that a little bit forward here. Clear getting hit with that anti-nade, going down to the low half health, does manage to heal back up. We do hear the minefield be brought out from Bread, and Amphibian is going to be taken out. D-Bomb not getting anyone there. And some great play by Bread and Cone are going to pick up 2, followed by the rest of it. The only one left is their Mercy, who's using this Valkyrie to try to fly away, and isn't going to be able to do that, is taken out by the Deadeye.
Yeah, the solo Deadeye for the Mercy is something that we've seen, sadly, all too common here. And it seems Cobra on this Echo has not had the value you want to see, so I really applaud the swap off the Mercy to the Brig to try to get more of that Brawl healing pump rather than the solo charge, as D-Chop was doing his best getting another Pulse Bomb online with both the Duplicate and the Nano coming online, but losing Cobra so early on, being down a possible ultimate. And we made sure from D-Chop to even up the odds, taking out Blaze as we even force out the Transcendence with the Pulse Bomb. Francis is playing their best, but being down so many members and with down in overtime, not getting to the first checkpoint, it's all down to this.
It is going to be all down to this engagement as we see the Nano Boost and the Rally be brought out there. Noodles and Cone both getting one, pushing Francis Howell down to a disadvantage, enough to push them off of the point and not allow them to get one checkpoint.
Yeah, Francis right now has kind of had a consistent problem of winning that first team fight and not being able to get the good re-engage that they want. They're losing the team fights afterwards because they don't have that center regroup push at the same time. They're just constantly going for those trickles 1v1s, as we mentioned at the start of the stream. High school players love their 1v1s, and we've seen that from the DPS. They win them, but as a team in an Overwatch team game, you definitely want to see them push together more solidly and play around the payload. We don't want another C9 incident.
Alrighty, Blue Springs just needs to get a little bit past where Francis Howell did. It's almost basically just getting to the first checkpoint, but not quite here. And they will have tied themselves up this victory here, 3-0. And the interesting thing is, I wonder if Francis Howell is going to try to take any sort of high ground like Blue Springs did, because I'd love Blue Springs to buy sort of an engagement or two.
Yeah, Blue Springs already looking like they have the comp to take the high ground with both the Tracer, Diva, and Wrecking Ball, as we saw Francis Howell do the same thing. So I'm very curious why Francis Howell's not even going for it. They're definitely just sticking to the high ground with that Sig and Orisa that just hasn't really made the difference for him. And same with that Echo. Oh, we saw the Echo try to get a lot of value, but already we're seeing Blue Springs with their own Pharah this time around, and no Mercy either. So confidence in the DPS.
I'm really not a fan of this approach that's being taken by Francis Howell, because it allows so much free space to be just taken up by Blue Springs. They're going to round this first corner just like nothing even happened. Sometimes, you know, I like to call this, it's as if they're watching a parade. They're just sitting up on that Vista point, not putting too much damage down onto Blue Springs and just letting them get all this space with their payload, especially since the payload only needs to be pushed forward just a little bit here for Blue Springs. Now Blue Springs has managed to push it toward the archway. Francis Howell unable to get enough damage to get a poke. It's actually going to be Blue Springs getting the first pick onto Cobra here. And now Blue Springs has successfully pushed past that choke point. Now is on their way to the plaza here. We'll see if Francis Howell can get any sort of pick. It doesn't really even look like they want to get in Blue Springs' face here. They do manage to put up the Amp Matrix, and Chop is able to take out Clear, but it's just too late. They didn't contest the payload at all.
They just stayed on their high ground and let Bread run all over them. They couldn't even take him out. They stunned him, and then the Brig proceeded to knock him off, so he just got off scot-free.
You know what I think went wrong? They didn't have quality jerseys like we see from Skulls right here. I'm sure if they had this sort of quality equipment, they would have been more confident to take on Blue Springs. So great job from Blue Springs here, getting a 3-0 victory. In all of the past seasons, they have been kind of top-tier quality talent, and that doesn't look to have changed one bit. So a great win for them, undefeated. I just mean in this current match. Probably not the most thing to say that you're undefeated after one win in the beginning of the season, but hey, you take what you can get. So this next fight that we are going to get into, we're going to take a quick break and then switch gears a little bit because we have an Idaho team that we want to showcase. But any final thoughts to wrap up this fight, Brenner?
I think Francis Howell has a lot to learn from that engagement because they were winning team fights. It was always the first team fight. So they can start off strong. They know what to do. They have the tools in their kit. We saw D-Chop on that McCree. We know they have good players and that they can execute. They just need to nail down that team play. So good on Blue Springs, proving why they have been one of the consistent top teams.
All right, we'll take a short break and be back with the second match tonight, showcasing an Idaho high school, so you're not going to want to miss that. We'll be right back after these breaks.
Visit NationalGuard.com to begin your guard adventure.
Here are a couple lessons I've learned over the years. Friendships come in all shapes and sizes. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
Welcome back to this Boise State Esports broadcast. We are currently in the second match of our high school showcase. It's going to be the first week of this new program here. We're now going to take things over to Idaho as they face off a team against in Massachusetts. So we're going to jump into that match as soon as we can. I'm still your host, Jacob Jem Palmer, joined by Brenner Verlat. So Brenner, if that last match was anything to go just to go kind of off of, what do you think we can expect from this next match if the last one is any predictor?
A solid 1v1s from the DPS for sure. We saw the Trace and McCree just absolutely be the staples of their teams. And same with some of the tank players. We saw Brett on that Wrecking Ball. Even when he was eliminated, he was able to just disrupt the entire push of the opposite team. So I think the high mobility kind of characters that we see from both sides are going to be the ones we want to watch. We saw when they went for the attack push on Hollywood, the Lucio speed boosted them in. Even if they lost the fight, that was the character we wanted to watch because they were making essentially the main play of the team, because without that speed boost, they would have gotten dismantled in the rotations.
Alrighty, let's take a look at the overall rules that we have been playing by tonight. We are showcasing best of fives, going in the order of control, hybrid, escort, and then assault. We are showcasing state and national competitions, and some of the top players in the U.S. at this level are being shown. So we have seen a great match first by Blue Springs. We will find out who the next victor is very shortly, but before we get into this match, we always want to remind our players of Doc's keys to the game in Overwatch. Doc's keys are never going to be to take a fair fight, and that means to take fights in unexpected places when your opponents are unprepared and when you can have ability advantages. Those are Doc's keys to the game, brought to us by Drop-In Gaming. Drop-In Gaming is the premier online platform for gamers who seek competition. You can play your favorite games and win cash and prizes through free and paid entry matches and tournaments. Whether you are new to the scene or a seasoned veteran, Drop-In Gaming has the right games and competition for you. Begin your competitive gaming journey. Go to dropingaming.com. All right. Here we go into the next match. I just want to say, based off those keys to the game, what do you think is the one that we could see the most improvement in?
Even though I've been mentioning the speed boost, I do think tempo, because we saw on Busan is a lot of kind of stragglers coming in and they're trickling in and getting staggered a lot. So I would be very curious of how the teams going forward try to improve upon that and try to be more cohesive. And then same with a lot of their hero picks. We saw them same team composition as what Boise ran, which was the McCree, the May, the Ryan, the Diva, the Baptiste, and the Lucio, and they were winning those team fights. So it is proven that the team composition is what matters. And at the same time, we saw Blue Springs do kind of an unconventional, with the Brig and the Zen and win those team fights. So you have to find the happy mix between playing what you're comfortable with and playing what is the meta, as already we're seeing the return of something so familiar, the Symmetra.
And Symmetra's going to be used. It's Meridian Technical that instantly takes the point. They're playing against Sutton out of Massachusetts. Meridian Technical, kind of a charter school here in the Idaho Boise area. And there goes Daydream with that orb, is going to be taking out Zoom. But Bobble is going to get a little bit of kind of an even up, but it looks like one of their members was hit with a sleep dart there. So Sutton isn't really able to push onto the point, despite them getting another pick with Depresso there. I'm also going to be wanting to watch out to see if J-Hope there can get maybe an environmental with a well-placed hook, but the environmentals right now are going to be Dragonfire. A double there with a double boob off the edge. That's going to allow Meridian Technical to keep this point firmly in their favor. Great job there from Meridian Technical.
Yeah, this Roadhog's also been landing his hooks consistently as another boob coming out from Dragonfire right now. We love seeing environmental kills, so all I will say is more please on that subject. We haven't seen the Roadhog hook off the edge, as that Symmetra's trying to give him the option as going for that wall peak right now, but it seems that Sutton's now going to go for the far left side push, setting up that car wash as well with this Symmetra. You got to watch out for it, as Depresso now swapping off that Doomfist over to the McCree. We could see another great McCree play, as already the Maze splitting up the team.
Oh, look at that huge hook right there. That's what I was hoping for, taking out Reinhardt from Meridian Technical. That's going to allow Sutton to push forward, but Dragonfire once again being the clutch player for Meridian Technical, even it up for them. The res is going to be brought out by Phoenix. Look at that double Deadeye from Burning, evening it up again. Meridian Technical back to the advantage, chasing this Moira back away from the point, putting a bit of a stagger and going past 75% in charge.
Yeah, and they got a huge ult advantage coming into this next fight, because it is a 4v2 situation. Sutton opened up that entire push with the Valkyrie and then stuck with the Mercy, even though they don't have the verticality element. They do have Depresso now, and the Junkrat swapping off again, losing even the more ult percentage that he had built up on that McCree. So maybe the Junkrat will make the difference trying to burn through that Ryan shield as well as the Zarya bubbles, but it looks like they are not going to have time on their side, as it's 98% and all the ultimates are coming out.
All of the Qs being pressed there, but that May wall kind of was very crucial, just stopping Sutton from even trying to split Meridian Technical up, but just kind of walled it off for Sutton instead. That's going to be a team kill for Meridian Technical, and they're going to get their first win in this first round. Now they just need one more to get one match point.
Yeah, and in these best of five, Sutton definitely has the possibility of coming back as we're opening up with Lijiang Tower on that first map. So heading over to another Symmetra favored map, I would love to see the return as Meridian was able to just capitalize with her capabilities, as well as the Moira, which we don't see that often.
We will just have to see what the picks are going to be. We have seen some incredible plays on the Cassidy so far with some great flashbangs and overall some very unexpected Deadeyes as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if that would still be a choice for both of these teams. Here we go. Once again, Meridian Technical using that teleporter to get onto the point first. Just seems like something that isn't even occurring to Sutton. We do see Zoom Web there back on the Cassidy, so maybe that will get more mileage for them. We will just have to see. With Meridian Technical getting such a good position on these points, they can just set up and go full defensive here with that Orb of Discord placed onto Zoom there, and Fem just getting that Flame Strike. That is going to be enough for Meridian Technical to keep Sutton from the point, unless Depresso has anything to say about that. Getting rid of Burning, and it looks like an Anti-Nade was also placed onto Dragonfire here, pushing him low on health. Sutton now pushing back onto the point, but this Reinhardt is holding firm, getting rid of Phoenix. Now getting a double with taking out J-Hope as well. The front line completely gone for Sutton. That's going to have to be a reset finally for them.
Yeah, the Rein Zarya is definitely a hard comp to contest, especially when they have such good brawl potential, and Eternal Flame nailing those rockets onto the bobblehead. It's what you want to see from a soldier. It's not something we see very often. He's been performing as well as these DPSs we want to see from. So with the Nano full support ult out on the side of Sutton, and only the Shatter on the side of Meridian with the sides close behind, as well as their own beat and wall. I'm very curious to see if the ults will even come out as Eternal Flame opens up this team by taking out Dorado all by himself.
Yeah, but they're using all of their ultimates here at once, but that was after one of their members had already been taken out. That isn't going to get any sort of mileage for them. Now look at J-Hope right after he uses his ultimate, almost being completely mowed down to Presto, getting one pick onto Eternal Flame. Now Photon Barrier and Coalescence being used by Meridian Technical for that defense. That's going to allow Burning to take out Phoenix, followed by Bobble. Once again, Sutton just trying to save up all their ultimates, press Q at the same time, but doesn't look like they got any sort of strategy to push on to the point thus far.
Yeah, it seems once that team fight, Meridian knew they won it. They've just been cleaning up shop, and Sutton's having the same issue as we saw with Francis, is that they're kind of just trickling in, trying to stay alive as long as they can, but without being on point, it's not what you want to see. So now heading into the next team fight, we did see Depresso swap over to the Tracer. Now J-Hope's trying to figure out which tank he wants. The Sig Orisa comp is coming back in Eternal Flame, starting off this fight with the sights and getting a double.
Yeah, that's a great double picked up with the Tactical Visor. We hear a High Noon be brought out by Zoomweb. Not getting anybody there. Might have tried to be zoning more than anything, but right now Eternal and the Reinhardt picking up a double there, and that is going to be it. Meridian Technical winning that one in very convincing fashion once again. Great job for them getting the first point. Well, if you want to be seen in a great light, then you should check out Skulls. They provide great equipment for high school teams all across the nation. You can see some of the examples flashing up on here on the screen, and of course during the whole broadcast. If you want to make your team look great and have a great first impression, just go to Skulls and check out their services. Alrighty, we have just finished up the first match there. And overall, Meridian Technical looking to make a great statement thus far, really not letting any sort of momentum be given away from them.
Yeah, they definitely were capitalizing, having the advantage and winning the first team fight and having control of the map and then pushing up to spawn as you should in these higher level of plays. And to even help us break it down, we do have our own Doc Haskell here to interview and help break down this current match that we just saw.
Behind a Rhine shield, she cuts almost as much as Azaria does at full beam. and cuts through things that you'd be pretty impressed, right, where projectiles don't. So what they do is they do a really nice job of getting out here. They use the Lucio speed boost. They set it up right here on the corner. They go straight up to window. Now, once they're there and she can get her turrets out, they have point control. And it costs the enemy team a ton in resources and cooldowns to try and take that point. Now watch this. They're going to do a really nice job of waiting till they move in. Right, Sutton, not sure what to do here. Look at that sim beam just lighting up. It looks like a Zarya. She can get in there and chase him down. In fact, their Zarya can bubble, and they can just run this down. One down. Now they're going to look for two. They've got a couple of them out of position there. They're not going to do a very good job. Even though they lost their sim, they're still much, much stronger because the sim presence stays on point. Now watch this. They're about to take a second fight right here. They're going to push forward here. Their sim is about back now. Now their sim is back now. They can really push. +2, you just won the fight. If you get +3, it's all over. There it is. +3 in the fight, and they're just in cleanup mode right now. Look at the difference here between the two teams in ult charge. We're about to get wall. We're really close to visor, and we are near shatter and beat right there. That is a sim brawl, and that's why it's so effective.
Well, thank you for all of that information, Doc. I love this new setup here. It's just like a weatherman kind of setup there, or a newscaster, if you will, no matter who they are. But right now, great job there by Meridian Technical. I love that setup. We've been talking about Doc's big board so often, but we actually got to have him near the big board for once there. So great job there. But we are going to, being done by Meridian Technical, but we are going to head into the second match as soon as we can here. So any real advice here for the other team to try to even this up?
I mean, if you know you're going to go up against a sim brawl as good as that, you definitely want to know what the counters are to sim with something like the Winston. The Orisa Sig is not what you want to see with the double shield, especially if you're going to go for a slower push. You need to have the mobility to get on top of them and take that space so you can take the fight where you want it, especially with the double shield comp and not having that Rhine. So they definitely need to get, if not more aggressive, have smarter plays and know where to rotate to get to the point where they want to so they can take that fight on their own terms.
All right, it looks like the second choice is going to be Hanamura. So any thoughts that you have on that?
I mean, last time we saw Hanamura, it was with Doc's own custom team, and this main door choke point is such a problem for so many teams since day one of the game. You only have two entrances, and it's from the window or the main door. So we see a ton of Mei plays on top of either a Genji or a Hanzo to deny that window the best they can. We even see occasionally a Pharah Echo with a Winston or a Diva. They need that verticality to deny the window the best they can. So I could definitely see Meridian being able to execute this since they executed that sim brawl so well, especially with the Lucio speeding on top. They definitely are proving why they are one of the higher teams in this tournament.
All right, here we go. Meridian Technical going to be on defense first, and looks like they're still going to be bringing out the Symmetra, which, as we just heard from Doc, has so much more utility than just, you know, helping you teleport to the point first.
Yeah, and even only having 3 of her OG original 6, having that slow, they have to stop and take even the 1 second to turn, kill it, and then keep going so they'll be at normal speed and not taking constant damage. Sim, it can definitely be a problem. And like Doc said, if you charge that full beam, you're dealing almost as much as a full Zarya beam. But it looks like they're going to take a Sim of their own and go straight for the point right behind Meridian. But it looks like Eternal Flame was there to kick this off.
I do enjoy the Presso just kind of getting the death in glory, being able to take out one of the members of the other team with their mines. But right now, Meridian Technical is dealing with a lot more than that, as a huge triple just kind of wiped out their entire team. Going to be cleaned up also by J-Hope, pushing their Reinhardt off the edge of the field. And this is the point where we can really see the avalanche that Assault can be here. They're going to have so much time to get point B.
Yeah, it looks like Sutton was watching the stream and took a hint from Doc, because that sim play is what exactly the execution we want to see. Now Depresso swapping over to that Tracer to try to get as much pressure on point as a team push as they can, with now Meridian swapping over to the Mercy and their own Doomfist that we have not seen from Burning. So being in this closer hallways, we could see Burning on this Doom be the difference here. At the same time, Dorado is going to have to pull their weight not being on that Junkrat to burn down that Rhine shield as well as the Zarya bubbles. And a great flashbang is going to stun multiple members, so it looks like Meridian's going to start off this teamfight jumping right in with the Shatter.
Oh, a huge shatter at that one, just allowing them to just tear right through them, getting a triple, followed by Eternal Flame, picking up one of his own. That is almost going to be a team wipe. Looks like Depresso has just managed to escape with that Tracer. That is a great hold there from Meridian Technical. Just going to have to do that many, many, many more times, because we still have over 5 minutes for Sutton.
Yeah, this is going to be a long 5 minutes, especially with Meridian having that Mercy after the teamfight, able to get the Rhine immediately back up and ult charging. Already back up to 20% with Eternal Flame having that Deadeye on the bench. It looks like Sutton's going to go straight for the push right up to them, and the Great Anti is going to go onto most of the members as well as Nano comes out to start off this fight from Sutton.
Looks like one good shatter deserves another as a triple flame strike. Now make it quadruple for Zoom there. Make it 5 there. Can he get an ace? He pulled off an honest to goodness ace. My goodness, what a Reinhardt and what a play from Sutton. That is one of the best tank plays I've ever seen. You know, not to be outdone. Yes, we'll give that a full honest to goodness Boise State ace. It is well worth. It is well deserved there. And wow. What a play. What a tank. What a Reinhardt.
Anything you can do, I can do better.
Exactly.
Sutton proving that point with the Rhine ace. As a previous Rhine player, there's nothing more satisfying than that. 6-man shatters are great, but if you can make it an ace, you just earned yourself a top spot in my book. Respect that man. That was phenomenal. And with Hanamura, they still had what? 4 minutes to go.
Yeah.
And Burning was contesting it, but using that Meteor Strike to save himself, at the same time, lost that round for them because there was nobody contest the point. Ana was going in for it, but being a sniper, she wants to hold back, so she didn't push up to the point. Meridian definitely showed signs of life there, as we saw in the first map, but Sutton came back and answered with force. That was impressive, to say the least. Like, definitely words are leaving my lips here.
Well, the thing to keep in mind, kind of maybe the solace for Meridian Technical, is just this is Assault here. And so if they can do just kind of another stunningly insane push here on attack, they can at least drive it to overtime.
For sure. We definitely know Meridian has the capabilities in their toolbox to match the play level from Sutton, but it looks like Sutton's going for an early cheeky elimination with the Rhine right outside the spawn. It looks like he might go for the back up because Meridian did the exact same strat. They had the Rhine right inside the cafe, went for the charge as well, and some early damage to get that shatter farmed as quickly as possible. So now Meridian on the attack is going to eat a flame strike as they're going to try to push in with that Lucio speed, and this time bring in the Mei.
Yeah, they just try to push right through here, are going to get stopped by, it looks like they were trying to split off there some of the team of Sutton with that Mei wall, and there goes one of those sim turrets taking out Depresso, and a boop off the edge onto Bobblehead. Eternal Flame also getting one, but Sutton has been fighting back there with J-Hope and Hama there getting one of their own, but it does look like Meridian Technical has managed to get a presence on the point. More impressively, that Symmetra, those Symmetra turrets doing a great job helping them keep that point once they plant on there. He's going to get one pick onto J-Hope there, and that's exactly what Meridian Technical needed to do. They needed to take this point and fast, and now they're going to have over 6 minutes just like Sutton did.
These Symmetras have definitely been the playmakers for both teams, and now Meridian's going for their own play, going from the backside with the teleporter across. So now we're going to kick off this team fight right between the Rhine swinging hammers and all the turrets already being placed.
Oh, their charges aren't quite enough for a huge shatter, but Meridian Technical is going to be more than happy with Burning and Soup getting one of their own. Now Soup going to a double there. That Reinhardt also getting Zoom as well. Meridian Technical doing a great job. Now they just have to fight the trickle in because that spawn point is so close to this point here. They just have to work to try to keep holding it, getting one after the together, placing up those turrets there. They are already halfway there. 2 people contesting on the point, and we hear 2 shatters being brought up as well. Both these Ryans fighting for glory, and one of them picks up Bobble as Dragonfire also getting rid of Zoom, and a boop onto Depresso as well is helping Meridian Technical to keep control of those points. Those turrets also doing well, getting rid of Tommaso there. Burning getting rid of J-Hope as well. The Maywall is going to stop Sutton from getting onto the point and secure Meridian Technical. We're going into overtime, and thankfully the game is going to cut down some of the huge amount of time that they had.
Yeah, 30 seconds is the difference between these 2 teams. So Meridian having that 30-second advantage could be that extra team fight, but at the same time, Sutton had that ace, which we just can't disprove of. They have fight in them, and they're trying to win this assault map, especially on Hanamura. So it is all down to these Symmetra plays. They have been kind of the star players outside of the ace that engage everything. It's a sim brawl. It's in the name. She's what you play around. So if you lose her early, you could easily lose the fight. And I think Meridian Technical bringing that main definitely was what helped them win it that much quicker. That May, with the walls, was able to split up the team and get the first elimination of this team fight that we're rewatching that just won them this round. And knocking that Ryan off as well just bought them that much more time as Sop was able to take out that McCree. They were able to eliminate those DPS very quickly, and so they swapped over to the Sombra and the Reaper to try to brawl the best they could, but they were just getting taken out from spawn. So Meridian has a lot to fight for here if they want to be able to hit this a 2-0 and possibly another 3-0.
All right, here we go. Sutton's going to be the first one to charge up to the point. Definitely getting there fast with that Lucio there. He's just kind of going to go up the wall. Now they meet the choke point here, but they do have the sim to try to teleport through. But Meridian Technical is wise. Their plan is also going to be using this Pharah here to pelt them down from above. Actually, yes, it is Meridian Technical stopping Sutton once they get onto the point with this Pharah, taking out Depresso. Zoomweb also being eliminated there. That's 2 for Meridian Technical. Sutton has already managed to get 1 tick, though. Now there goes Burning, taking out J-Hope with a mine also onto Shiko there. And that's going to be Bobble also eliminated with Soup, taking out Tommaso. Now it's just a stagger and not enough of a presence for Sutton to get past 1 tick.
Yeah, so Sutton now going to swap it up and try.
Right off guard.
It's what you want to see. Definitely stalling him out now as Dorado is now on the Soldier. We also see the Roadhog as well as J-Hope on the Ana. So almost an entire team comp swap. They do have the Amplification Matrix and the wall up. The wall actually charged faster than the Amplification Matrix, which is something we rarely see. But Meridian has almost all 6 ults up. We know Soup with this Zarya can charge it very fast. They teleport her in and start with the wall to try to deny all the explosive damage coming out from Meridian.
And there goes Photon Barrier set up, as well as a Reptile getting a double from Burning there. There goes another Shatter being used by Zoom. Eternal Flame, though, picking up Depresso. That might have just been an unfortunate fat finger there for Zoom. Just kind of, once his team was already gone, he just pressed that Shatter, although he doesn't really have the time to afford, so I can see why he would use it. There's only 10 seconds left. There goes Soup with an elimination onto J-Hope there. The Amp Matrix also going to be set up, making this a very hard choke to push past through. Despite that dash from Tommaso, they're going to stop them. Shatter also taking out Bobo. Depresso stopped, and now this is a very winnable situation for Meridian Technical.
Yeah, they had the ult advantage going into that final fight against Sutton. Sutton blew what they had, and that wall was simply not enough to deny both the Junkrat and the Pharah raining down as much DPS as they were to try to burn that down, that teleporter, as well as just the shields that they had. I don't think the Roadhog was the right pick on an attack against that much explosive damage. Not having the shield to just deny it outright, but try to heal through it. Not even landing any good hooks to eliminate the DPS. Mercy constantly was flying around. Meridian played that phenomenally, and those 2 minutes went by very quick, so Sutton still has a chance here.
Alrighty. Yeah, they do. They do, but it's going to have to be such an impressive hold here. And if we've seen, Meridian Technical has definitely been the team that's more adept at those sim teleports. So I think that they are just in such a great, they're in a great position here to just take this the first time.
Yeah, and Sutton, I don't think has the team comp right now to have the DPS output to stop that sim teleport with how quick it is. And it looks like Meridian's going for their own Roadhog this time, but not going up against that far Junkrat. He will perform a lot better, not having to absorb as much AoE damage that they will have. So immediately we're going to see the same teleporter play, but this time going for the high ground, not directly onto point.
Yeah, I like
Could
that.
throw off Sutton here as they get the first elimination on their end.
Yeah, going to be a mine tossed out onto Depresso there. The other team might also be depressed, just determining how Meridian does here, because they are going to make their presence on the point. They have to watch out for the sim turrets that have been set up here. Right now, this Junkrat is just going to push some bombs into that high ground there, trying to take out some of the snipers that Sutton has pushed up there. Right now, the only thing that Meridian is going to get is Soup taking out Depresso, and with Dragonfire falling off the edge of the map, it does look like they have the mine to reset.
Yeah, but look at the ult percentage that both sides got out of. We have Photon Barrier on the side of Sutton with both the Shatter and Transcendence close behind. Meridian has close to that Valkyrie, so Sutton came out of it on top, getting those eliminations for the team wipe. So good on Dragonfire for at least going for the suicide rather than feeding it to them. So teleport round 2 going for directly above them. Looks like both the tanks are going to fall off, and that Photon Barrier is going to come out to start the fight.
All right, Photon Barrier used there, as well as the Valkyrie from Meridian Technical. Trying to get the res here, is going to be able to get it on Dragonfire, but it's going to pay for it by being taken out by Bobble. J-Hope also taking out their Reinhardt. Shatter used on the point, as well as Dragonfire using the beat to try to keep Meridian Technical alive. But that trance is going to do just an equally good a job at keeping Sutton alive, stopping Meridian Technical again. And oh no, don't tell me we go into a tie here.
Well, it looks like this is going to be all up to Meridian now, because they do have enough time for this final fight. And now with Burning on the Junk, Flame on the Mei, and Neptune on the Winston, this is what you want to see to counter that strong sim defense, along with the Soldier, who's going to have sights for this fight, along with the Amplification Matrix. Meridian Technical needs to get on point. Losing that maze so early is not what you want to see with only 20 seconds on the board. Sutton has the ultimates to hold them back, and now being +1 is not what you want to see.
This is not good at all. Zoom taking out Eternal. Soup also gone. All that's left is Dragonfire. I don't know if he can do as much of a Lucio dance as he wants to. He does manage to keep her from stopping and getting a boop off the edge of Damaso, but he is taken out, and there you go. Sutton getting the win there. They had more of a charge on the first point. That is going to tie it up, and now we have a true match on our hands. Well, if you want to look great here for esports event, then you need to contact Skulls. They provide great quality equipment to esports team all across the nation. You can see some of their work here, so go to Skulls. If you believe the metaphor that skins equal wins, then definitely look out for them. They can provide you with some great uniforms. Alrighty, now we head into number 3. That is going to be I think Escort, or it could be Hybrid. The map mode has been changed up on us since we aren't in the Missouri Scholastic Esports Federation again. Yes, it does look like it is going to be Escort. So we will get back to that and get the map choice very soon, but we're going to give both of these teams a break and come back as soon as we can right after this.
NationalGuard.com to begin your guard adventure.
Here are a couple lessons I've learned over the years. Friendships come in all shapes and sizes. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
Welcome back to tonight's Boise State Esports broadcast. We are currently showcasing high school talent from across the nation in Overwatch, and we are currently watching Meridian Technical Charter School against Sutton from Massachusetts. And right now, both teams are tied up 1 apiece in this best of 5, so we are definitely going to go to a game 4. Right now, I'm stereo host Jacob Jen Palmer, joined by Brenner Bear Lad. Brenner, we avoided the tie in Assault, which is always good news to me. Now we move on to Escort to find out what these teams choose.
I mean, no one will make my guess of what map it is, so let's go over to you and see what map you would like.
I don't want Dorado. I really don't want that again. I've seen too many depressing finishes on that choice there. It's going to be Gibraltar. All right. This has been one of Boise State's favorites, actually.
Yeah, they've really nailed down the attacking with the Wrecking Ball and just getting behind enemy lines and getting a lot of damage output from him, too. That Wrecking Ball is a wrecking ball. He disrupts the team and can be such an issue. We also have seen some really good sniping plays from the defenders that we've gone up against. So I'm definitely curious how the high schoolers might come into this map, with it being kind of one of the OG maps of Overwatch. They've had a lot of time to practice it and hone their strategies, and over the years, they've changed a lot. We've seen it when it started out with just Bastion hold at the start, to where Boise State was in the corner room, not even touching the payload, but just held them off from getting to it with the May and the Sombra. So I'm curious with the high schoolers, with the current meta, what they might choose, or just go somewhere in the complete opposite.
Well, we will find out very shortly here. Let's jump in to this third match. Remember, both teams are tied at 1 apiece, so this will at least go to the 4th mode, which will be hybrid. Right now, though, we are waiting to jump into Gibraltar, and that was kind of you really kind of covered my major question, was if we're going to see a team use that cheeky Boise State strat of just holding in that side room, not really touching the payload, but just close enough to it to stop it from moving.
I would love to see it and see how they interpret it, because Boise State always did the Sombra and the May to wall off and then go for the hack, so that the enemies who got cut off were just stuck in there. At the same time, it's really easy to counter with something like the Junkrat, who can just output the damage, bounce it off the walls, and be hitting you the whole time. So it is definitely a risky play, but if you know what you're doing, it can be unstoppable. But it looks like the attackers are going to go for the top plays, and so are the defenders. and not even a Bastion inside, but it looks like they are going to go for the Widowmaker and try to get an early cheeky pick. So they're not going to have the present on the cart, but they're going to be able to hold it back as Sutton goes for the Reaper, and the McCree, and the McCree wins the sniper battle, as a typical sniper would.
Yeah, there you go. All right, now there goes Dragonfire also taking out a J-Hope. Now they go under the bridge here. To get to this crucial choke point here, see if they can't make their way through, and if Tommaso can't get a bit of redemption, having spawned back up, there goes Bobble down to half health. Tommaso also taking a lot of damage, has to reposition there. Not really that much of a fight there from Sutton for Meridian Technical, who just pushes right onto the point. Soup doing a great job taking out Zoomweb there. And now this Reinhardt is just going to swing right in, gets hit with the sleep dart, enough time for their Diva at least to push on to point. Now hit with the anti-nade. He's going to just swing right back into that Ana in retribution there. And now go for the charge. Unfortunately, runs into the door before he can get to the Diva. There goes that. They get the first point there. I was going to say, there goes that Roadhog with a nice hook there. Is going to take out his opponents. And now the Reinhardt does get respawned there by Daydream there. Here we go. Zoom with a nice flame strike on to the Reinhardt there. He's going to take out a little bit of Meridian Technical's front line. They just have the Roadhog left. Dragonfire getting rid of Tommaso, who just might have to swap off of the Widow at this point.
Yeah, this is the situation we see with most Widows.
Yeah, there you go.
Goes over to the McCree. That's exactly what you want to see as the team fight opens up with the Shatter and Nano from Sutton.
Yeah, and that's going to be enough, actually. That was the team fight there.
It was wiped up cleanly with Depresso able on that Tracer to clean up the last two with low health and run them down, and gets 84% on that Pulse Bomb now with J-Hope and Hama with their ults. Meridian does have the ult advantage, having almost the 6-man ult, so I could definitely see the Q spam coming out from their side as the anti-nade lands on the Rhine to start this off, and J-Hope gets taken out from behind.
Dragonfire, yeah, he gets the first pick. There goes a Shatter there from Zoom, as well as the Pulse Bomb out from Depresso. But Meridian Technical is just hanging on to everything, very disciplined here. They're just going to allow the more ultimates to be burned off, as that Diva Bomb doesn't really get anything. All you have to worry about is just that remake there. Chico Hama just waiting for just a little bit more to remake there. Might have been looking for a pick, but it's not going to work. Now here come the ultimates from Meridian Technical. They're going to start out with a Whole Hog and Death Blossom, which really doesn't work and was actually kind of depressing, actually. So,
kind of counterintuitive.
I know, it just, the Reinhardt just held up his shit. Look at that Shatter, though, from Zoom here. Even though the ultimates are trickling in for Sutton, they seem to be making much more of an impact than Meridian Technicals are. There goes the Roadhog taking out Bobble there. Still enough of them for Meridian Technical to push forward here. Just some great picks outside of the ultimates to get them to the second checkpoint. We're going to see if Sutton can hold them right here as they go onto the point as the Diva and Echo dive in there. Zoom is just going to be mowed right down there, but Presso getting one pick. That might just be all that they get, though. Quick Deadeye is going to take out Shigahama there, and that is going to be all of them from Sutton. That is a team wipe for Meridian Technical.
Sutton did not have the ult control that we've seen from Meridian Technical so far, as Bawa used his Nano on the Echo by herself, last one alive. Not really the DPS character you want a Nano boost of your whole team, so that might have just been the typical panic ult before you die that we've seen from a lot of these not high skill level plays as we see on the BSU side. So now Meridian able to just push the cart freely until they get around this corner where the entire Sutton team is waiting for them. They do have both the Amplification Matrix and the Deadeye, but it looks like he's going to get taken out after he uses it. And Tommaso's not even there to use it, so it was just a solo ult for himself as the hook comes out in the Roadhog 1v1. Sutton's playing 2 split here.
Yeah, they're not making really much of a presence on the point itself. Now Zoom is able to respawn, goes back on to the point. The Soup wins the Battle of the Cassidys there, and there goes a double Roadhog there, make it a triple. And that is just enough for Meridian Technical to tie it up.
Yeah, the Whole Hog came in clutch this time round, was not knocking everybody away from the Death Blossom, getting all 3 points with 317 still on the board. Sutton's going to have to pull it together if they want to be able to at least match that like they did on Assault, with 30 seconds just being the difference between the two. They got to push this cart a long way, so I would not be surprised if they went for a much tighter grouping on it. And I would love to see a pirate ship here. But
Yeah.
we haven't seen a Bastion all game. We saw Tommaso not being effective on that Widow. So going something like the Bastion and just going full, just protect the President situation and push the cart the best you can. Unless Meridian goes something like the May, or I guess maybe a Somber to disrupt it the best they could, it could pay off here.
It would be nice, especially getting that sort of turret ability out of Bastion while you still have time to use him like that.
Yeah, Overwatch 2 is changing him for the good, so he will no longer be the turret boy we know and love. We could also see the Torp.
I just
The
can't
Torp could
imagine
work
Bastion
here.
without that, though. It's just...
He's going to have it. He's just more mobile now.
Yeah,
And his ultimate's a mortar. It's going to be weird. He won't be a tank anymore.
it's just so weird.
Changes be coming, but we're not there yet, with Overwatch 2 still coming out at some point.
At some point here, I'm going to be willing that Sutton might be able to take this point before it releases here.
Tommaso back on this Widow, though. It's not pirate ship.
It's not, and you know, yeah, I wouldn't mind the Widow so much if he just was able to just consistently get picks with it, but we'll
He
see.
hasn't gotten a pick with it yet.
I know, so but we'll see if he can do better right now. Sutton is managing to push forward here. They did throw a double anti-nade onto Meridian Technical. That helped them take out the ones who were hit with it. There goes the Roadhog and the Cassidy there. Also, Daydream also being eliminated there, as well as Reinhardt. So that is going to be a pretty convincing win for Sutton. This is exactly what they needed to do to match the time that Meridian Technical has built up for overtime.
Yet Depresso really being the DPS that Sutton needs right now, with Tomas not really being around. He's trying to get the snipes onto at least the McCree, and he's getting damage up, but just not able to secure the eliminations that you want to see from the Widow, as Meridian Technical is coming right back and able to open up this team fight with the two-piece.
Well, he does manage to get the one pick he was looking for there, so I don't know if that's going to be enough justification for him to stay on the Widow, but I mean, I don't want to lay into Tommaso too much. You know, sometimes it's just an off game. You know, sometimes just the keyboard and the mouse have a mind of their own, and you just can't hit anything. But right now, it doesn't seem to be working out too much.
Also, play what you're comfortable with. Sometimes it doesn't always pay off, but we're playing a video game. It's okay to have fun every once in a while and play a Widow that you enjoy.
Well, I'm sure he would enjoy it just a little bit more if he could get a few more picks. So we'll see if he can have a little bit more fun here. There goes Zoom with the first pick there onto Soup there. That's going to put Meridian Technical at a harder time of defending here, especially as this whole hawk is brought out, but he stopped right in his tracks by that Shatter. Daydream, you can see they're also using that Valkyrie, trying to keep Meridian Technical alive in their defense. It's not going to be enough. Actually, it is going to be enough with that whole hawk being brought out to get rid of Zoom Web. J-Hope also eliminated by Dragonfire. Meridian Technical, I thought for sure that Sutton had that.
Sutton engaged that very interestingly. They started with the Zarya, then whole hogged, and then used the grab in... Where did that just happen? She used the grab somewhere and we didn't even hear it. And then she just died. Sutton, maybe they're going for the comp swap. They did,
I mean, it
thankfully.
did, yeah.
And we see the Widow swap off even after using the ultimate. So now...
No,
Sutton,
they didn't use the ultimate.
They just gave it out. Then why'd you stick to
I
it
get
for
it.
so
Well,
long?
no, yeah, well, I mean, it's Doc's point. You know, no ultimate is worth keeping if you have the wrong comp, but it just seemed like Tommaso was so stubborn to stick on the Widow. I was like, okay, he's at least going to stick to where the ultimate he gets in and he swaps off. But if he needed to swap off, that's what he needed to do anyway. But right now, even though he swapped off, he's just going to get eliminated right at the beginning. So what's the difference anyway? As Zoom also picks up a double there. Look at him just going all over the place. J-Hope also getting rid of the Reinhardt from Meridian Technical. I think this is finally what Sutton needs to push through the first checkpoint, and they do claim it.
Yeah, they needed that comp swap so badly. Having a Roadhog Zarya on attacking for Escort with no shield whatsoever, yeah, Bubble can absorb sub damage, but it's not a Rhine or even a Diva for that matter. D.Va can absorb all damage from projectiles for 2 seconds. Ryan has a 1400 health shield. It's not comparable to a 600 health fat roadhog and an angry Russian woman.
And Tommaso swapped off yet again. He just doesn't know what he wants to play right now. Bobblehead is quickly picked off there. There goes. Okay, there was the swap. He knew what he was doing there. He gets rid of the Reinhardt. Also, the Death Blossom going to pick up Soup there. That is great play also from Depresso, taking out Dragonfire. And we see Daydream using the Valkyrie, trying to survive, but is just going to turn into another stagger. He is hanging in there, though. Even though he does get hacked there. Depresso also getting eliminated. They're trying to take out that Mercy, who is just sticking around like a fly on the wall and survives long enough for the rest of the team to respawn.
Yeah, both DPSs of Sutton put everything into that Mercy. Even as a Reaper, you had a Reinhardt hitting you and you ignored him the whole time. I very much want to interview the players of Sutton on these DPS and ask their target priority, as we do see the 1v1 between the Reapers and Sutton takes it. Daydream could have gone for the res there, but saw the enemy Reaper and is going to go for the damage boosted whole hog. It seems that Meridian Technical is doing much better on the defense here than Sutton did.
Yeah, they have managed to hold him there, but Sutton still can keep this going. They're about halfway to that checkpoint, actually more than halfway, as J-Hope brings out that Transcendence to try to keep them alive. Daydream has already charged up another Valkyrie, my goodness. He's managed to survive so much. Again, though, failed to be taken out. Res is Eternal. Dragonfire also eliminated. There goes out. That Death Blossom fresh off the res from Eternal, making a great presence. Help Meridian Technical defend here. There goes Depresso taking out Meridian Technical's Reinhardt. Can they manage to hold them one more time? Great pick there from Tommaso, who gets paid back immediately by Eternal Flame. Depresso is eliminating Soup there, so once again, just a lot being changed back and forth, but still enough for presence for Meridian Technical to burn down time. We also see that teleport there from the Depresso, trying to push any sort of damage onto Sutton here. There goes the Nano Boost out from Bobblehead as well. Huge Death Blossom is going to pick up a double, stopping Meridian Technical's defense. That's what he was looking for. He was setting himself up for that Death Blossom, turning into a team wipe and getting them the second checkpoint.
Yeah, we saw Depresso's thought process the whole time. He was waiting for the lamp to come out and his teammates to call it. So as soon as it came out, he went down with the Death Blossom, burned it down, and got 2 more.
I mean, I was a little bit confused, you know, because he immediately aimed at someone who was in midair, and I was like, well, that's not right to teleport. You're not going to take out any midair targets as a Reaper there. But look at those being taken out. Shikahama with a double D.Va bomb, taking out Eternal and Soup. Sutton just can't be stopped here. They are mowing Meridian Technical down, going to this next point. Meridian Technical just has to go for a full reset here to defend this point.
At least they have that time advantage right now, so it looks like we will possibly be going into overtime here, but Meridian Technical does equal out the ults here, and I do think they could easily take it with Shatter being at the 97% and having that amplification matrix, but a great 5-man EMP is going to kick things off for Sutton.
Yeah, Meridian Technical isn't going to be able to use all of those ultimates that they have right off the bat. Daydream does manage to use the Valkyrie. There goes the Shatter out from Meridian Technical's Reinhardt and a res onto Soup, but right now the initial picks that Sutton got onto Meridian Technical are going to prove very decisive here as Depresso and Zoomweb get rid of Soup. And Meridian Technical's front line there, they have no one left to defend them on the front except for that whole hog, which only gets 1. But it is still back and forth as Meridian Technical trickles in here. We do see that deep bomb be brought out to kind of stop anyone else, but it's that Mei, though, in that cryo, gets hit with the sleep dart immediately after she exits it. And there goes Meridian Technical. Man, they have managed to burn off all the time here, which is going to be crucial in overtime. And I don't know, maybe they are stalling this up. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me, Depresso? Another Death Blossom to come. Just, wow. What great play.
Talk about a rough start, but came clutch in the end. Depresso on this Reaper had questionable target priority, but these Death Blossoms definitely made the difference for his team. playing around this Reaper, had that target priority towards the end and taking out the tanks early on. Definitely won them a lot of team fights. And also right here at the end, Daydream on this Mercy was uncontested for a very long time and stalled the cart by themselves as the tanks were just getting taken out by Spawn. Meridian Technical, it's down to this attack, and we saw them perform much better than Sutton on the attack. So Sutton is up against a wall here.
That really is kind of a thing that you kind of don't think of, but really is something that's very crucial for Meridian Technical, is just how survivable their Mercy is. I mean, that Mercy is just finding a way, no matter what happens, to survive.
Now we just need the 5-man res back, and she'd be a god. That's all I need.
No.
That's all I need, Overwatch.
Newest announcement for Overwatch 2. Hey, we're bringing back Mercy's old ultimate.
Oh, I would cry. That's my one dream.
You do so much work, then you hear, heroes never die. Oh, my goodness.
It's the best line in the game. Fight me. That Mercy was phenomenal,
nice
though.
team wipe. Do it all again.
Hey, remember that ace on Hanamura? Delete.
It's like Patrick. Do it again. I wasn't looking.
Hey, he's back on it, though, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Meridian Technical's now back on the defense with J-Hope on this Zenyatta, the return. And we're seeing the return of the Rhine and Diva. That's a near team wipe right out the gate.
Yeah.
That was probably the fastest team fight I've ever seen.
I don't have any more to say. That's just...
The zoom web on this Rhine is as aggressive as most DPS players, and I applaud that. Having a frontliner who's able to win those engagements and have the heals to support him the whole way around is phenomenal. So kicking off this fight with a hack onto the opposite and a shatter.
He does!
There has to be a grudge. There has to be.
You know, who was the idiot who said Reaper couldn't take out mid-air target?
I mean, they've been doing phenomenally. They can't leave this cart now, so we don't want to see a C9 situation. Someone has to stay on it at all times, please. Or two. Keep two. Tommaso, stay. Don't go anywhere, as we already have lost J-Hope in this fight. Meridian being +1, like Doc said, +2 means you're going to win the fight. +3 means it's over for the enemy team. So Meridian just needs to win one team fight.
Whoa, what a huge Diva bomb from Shikahama there from Sutton, allowing them to stay on the point, but Daydream with the res there is going to still turn it around again with the Death Blossom. Meridian Technical wipes out Sutton and stops their overtime push.
With the Death Blossom of their own as well. These Reapers and the Death Blossoms said this at the start. The DPS players are who we want to watch.
I told you at the beginning of the night, you know, watch out for the DPS ultimates.
It was agreement, and no one's been wrong yet, because these DPS players have been interesting to watch, is how I'm going to put it. The Reaper, I only have questions about. We spend the most time watching them on this observation, and he definitely has a grudge against Daydream. That's without question, because he goes out of his way to teleport up to her and deal damage. And with the shotguns, he's definitely proving why they're used to hunt birds, because he's using the buckshot the best he can.
I guess that is true. They are used to hunt birds in real life.
It's my only logic at this point.
Don't tell that to any actual video game, though, because it's like the last thing you would want to hunt a virtual bird in.
So going into this attack from Meridian now, we already see the Zarya Rhine this time around, so they're completely opting out for the Diva. I pray to God that skinny figure is not a Widow. Okay, so they swapped off. They're now with the McCree Reaper. This is kind of old school Overwatch comp plus the Baptiste of Reaper Cassidy. I will always call him McCree. This is just my problem. And
it's a big change.
It's a big change. The name will always haunt me forever. But starting off, Tommaso in the backline with the Sombra looking for that cheeky pick, but his team is already backing off, so he's split off from them.
Yeah, and Depresso gets the pick onto Dragonfire there. And Hack also going on to Daydream. Meridian Technical is going to find themselves 2 down here. Going to have a really hard time pushing out of the front, even though they have the time advantage here. Sutton manages to keep having the defense as strong as this, they can still get the victory. We'll just have to see. Just going to try to mow down a little bit more of that round shield.
The target priority on Daydream has increased tenfold.
It's true.
Depresso was by himself for the entire time, just beelining for her. Now Tommaso is joining him. And we saw on the most recent elimination, it was a 3-man assault on to get that elimination. So now Sutton's gonna let them go up for the underpass and is gonna have to jump down right behind them and try to go for the cleanup.
All right, here we go. Meridian Technical gonna try to push yet again, but the pick there, 2 picks now from the front lines of Sutton is going to put them at a great advantage here. Meridian Technical only has 2 left. One of them is gonna get hacked. Soup very close to being eliminated, and now there he gets taken out with a final punch to the face. Great job again from Sutton.
Yeah, Meridian is using all of the 2 and 45 that they have as Eternal Flame swaps over to the May this time around, giving up on that Reaper 1v1 that just hasn't been making the difference so far. And Sutton having the 3 ultimates going into this next team fight, whereas Meridian only has that Shatter and possibly the Deadeye with the Amplification Matrix and the Valkyrie coming online as Soup gets the first elimination of the team fight onto Tommaso. So that's what you want to see being +1. She didn't even have the ultimate, so things are looking much better for Meridian.
Watch out for the bomb here, though. Self-destruct isn't going to get anyone there. Meridian Technical is now going to use their Valkyrie. Huge shatter there from Zoom, who just follows it up with the Flame Strike, taking out the front line of Meridian Technical. And once again, Sutton just turning it around with just 1 ultimate, stopping Meridian Technical from getting a point.
Yeah, they whiffed that Diva Bomb, but it definitely made Meridian commit a lot of utility. Both bubbles were used, the Ice Wall was used, and so that Shatter coming immediately right after it, landing onto 4 or 5 members even, was definitely the play we wanted to see from Sutton to keep this defense hold. And hopefully Meridian's going to use their own overtime to try to even push up to the equal point and now contesting the high ground.
Ooh, there goes a nice Transcendence, keeping Sutton alive through the Shatter that Meridian Technical attempted to throw out there. It's just going to end with their Reinhardt getting taken out. Depresso on these Death Blossoms, you just gotta. They have families they have to revisit here. Meridian Technical just can't catch a break either way.
You think with how big these Death Blossoms have been, and as I'm going to say it, Eternal Flame goes over to the Sombra to stop Depresso on this Reaper. So now it is down between Soup and Depresso to make the difference on the DPS side, because it is Sombra v Sombra. They do have the EMP and going to open up with it.
That is a huge EMP there. A double from Zoom Web there. Depresso following up by taking out Reinhardt. And a great display there from Meridian Technical. I'm sorry, a great display from Sutton. Meridian Technical did have a nice display there with Soup and now Eternal Flame fighting back. This might actually be a great display yet, but nope. Those were just a few picks in retreat there. Meridian Technical has enough for 1 more engagement.
Yeah, 20 seconds on the board. Meridian Technical is going to have to get a god-tier grab as well with this Amplification Matrix to burn them down. But with the Shatter from Sutton and how well they've been landing it, all eyes are on Neptune for this next fight.
We'll see if they can even survive long enough to try to use their ultimates here. Sutton is going to use that Shatter again. It's not going to be as big a one as they had last time. There goes a nice hack onto J-Hope there, taking out some crucial support from Sutton. Meridian Technical is still managing to make a presence on the point with that Amp Matrix thrown down, used by Dragonflyer. Now Eternal getting a double here on this Pharah here. Shigo Hama fighting back there with that double to stop the last bit of life that Meridian Technical had. Sutton manages to win it in overtime.
Hard-fought victory. They had a not great display first time round when Meridian was on the attack. They got all 3 checkpoints. But after that, they came alive. They did have some questionable plays, but they brought it together. So good on Sutton for bringing us to Game 4.
Well, Skulls is the premier supplier of great quality esports equipment, not just for high schools, but on the collegiate level and professional level as well. They are supplying uniforms to everybody, so if you want some top quality gear and some great designs, go to Skulls to see how you can get your team best represented. Alrighty, we are going to head into round 4 now. That was quite quite a round 3. It's been a while since I've seen overtime, Zadlon.
Yeah, I wish we would see it more for the BSU team and in our more higher tier games. So I absolutely adore casting high school because we get plays like this that are just so mind-boggling.
But the one thing that isn't going to change is Kings Row.
Oh, never. We're always going to be stuck on Kings Row. We won't ever get something fun like Blizzard World, in my opinion. So Kings Row is where we're going to go. All I want is Statue of Liberty, though. We didn't get the pirate ship with the cart, so maybe we will here on Hybrid, because that could easily transition over from the Statue of Liberty play, teleport with the Symmetra, that we know both these teams can play very well. We have yet to see both either the Bastion or the Torp, so the turret plays are not coming through. We already have seen the Symmetra turret play, so just double down on it.
Yeah, and I think also we have a very high likelihood of seeing more overtime in Kings Row, because even in the Boise State matches, which, have been a lot shorter because we've seen a lot more stomps, Kings Row, we usually at least see it if it's not overtime, at least go to the final point, because that first point is so hard to defend for the defending team that I just think we are setting up a great stage here for both of these teams to get 3 points and go into overtime with a hefty amount of time left on the timer.
Yeah, we'll have to see if it's a repeat of Escort or if Hybrid having that control point will take that much longer, because both on Assault and Control, the engagements were strung out longer than we saw on Push the Cart. So bringing it over to Kings Row, where the attackers have a kind of decent advantage with Spawn being so close to the point, I'm curious what the Reinhardt is doing on top of the bus.
That's an interesting kind of...
if we see a charge kill out the gate...
I don't know. I have never seen that strategy.
We see Junkruts do it. That makes sense. They can throw the trap and the mine, get the elimination. But a Ryan charge out the gate? Nothing but respect for that man if they are possible. Now Daydream finally off the Mercy over to the Moira. Definitely going for the Brawl style comp with the Doomfist, immediately opening up on the press cell.
Sutton being able to hold Meridian Technical at bay for now with the anti-nade being thrown onto both of their tanks. See Neptune almost being eliminated there. Does manage to heal back up. There goes Zoom Web from Eternal Flame. It's a nice pick from Meridian Technical. Gives them what they need to push onto the point. There goes Burning there with another pick onto Depresso. With the Zarya fully charged up, they are just going to use her to get onto the point. Push a lot of damage onto Sutton. And this is what I was thinking. We're shaping up for some hefty overtime.
I mean, we've only enjoyed it because it's been nothing but hectic, fun, quick play match enjoyment. And I'm really curious how Sutton's going to come back since they lost the control point so early on. They've had the shatter, and Meridian Technical, I don't know if it was calculated or not, took him out as he got the ultimate as well. So now with the Ryan Nano combo possibly coming out here, it's on Meridian Technical to eliminate at least one of those members before the ults come out. But they do have their ults of their own to counteract with the Coalescence and Shatter, and now the Grav, so they're going to start with the Grav.
There goes a Grav. It's going to be fought back by that Shatter from Sutton there. There goes the other Grav from Sutton now. But no real huge wipes from it at this point. So Soup is going to try out Deadeye. Look at him. Of course the Deadeye is going to be the one to get the team, the huge team wipe. Why wouldn't it be there? Sutton just has Bobblehead surviving. Now that's going to be a full team wipe for Meridian Technical off of the Deadeye of all things.
Anything you could do, I do it better, is the title of this matchup so far. We have both McCrees, well, there were two Zaryas. She swapped off over to the Diva, which I do think is the smarter choice. Tommaso, no. At least go in Ashe. At least go in Ashe. You get so much more value with her, especially on that Dynamite. You'll be able to get popped so much quicker.
There goes.
Thank you.
Back to the reverse. And this is where I think they're just messing with
here.
them. Look at that.
The DPS players are the key right now. They have been amazing on both sides right now. We've seen words are fleeting me right now as these DPS players are boggling my mind with how they go from 0 to 100.
It is kind of nice, though, because you see these DPS ultimates and you're thinking, oh, this is actually going to turn into something. You know, it's not just a case where, oh, they're Lucio beat. Oh, we saw a transfer. That was just easily countered, you know, that we see so much at the collegiate level. Here, it's like, you've got to watch out for those ultimates because they will just completely tear through your team. In terms of ultimates, Bobblehead is using the Now Boost right now, as well as the Shatter being brought out by Neptune there. There goes the Shatter from Zoomweb from Sutton, but nothing is picking up the teams quite yet. We do see Coalescence. There goes Burning, being able to take out Depresso there. I'm looking for a good high noon here, but it doesn't happen. So, oh, we're just going to have to go back to old-fashioned picks from Burning, doing a great job taking out Sutton one at a time. Bobblehead's just going to fall right off the edge, but they were down at about 1 health anyway. So it wasn't too surprising there. There goes a Deadeye is going to be able to take out Burning, as well as J-Hope using that Transcendence to at least get back on point. Dragonfly, Eternal Flame both getting one for themselves. And there goes J-Hope as well. One after the other. Meridian Technical is taking Sutton out, and we're going to be heading into overtime. Meridian Technical is going to be heading into overtime if they do go to overtime with about 4 minutes, a little bit over 4 minutes. I know I just worded that in probably the most inefficient way possible, but they have a lot of time left on the timer is what I'm saying.
Our brains are fried. High school is an interesting beast that I wish I could spend more time with. And
I'm having a lot more fun, though.
Oh, 100%. This is phenomenal to watch, and I'm amazed with how consistently these players are able to get away with, like, pretty cheeky plays. And I just enjoy seeing it because it reminds me of like old days of Overwatch when no one knew how to play, so you'd get amazing like 5-man Deadeyes, but now everybody knows how to counter Deadeye, so you never see it happen. But here we see a 3-man Deadeye. We never see that in collegiate level play unless it's perfectly planned with like a 5-man Shatter.
And I mean, there is something on collegiate play about getting into all the technicalities and all these huge plays and counter plays that both these teams do. But really, there's just a little bit of an Overwatch fan in all of us that just wants to see those huge Deadeyes, that wants to see the huge Death Blossoms, that wants to see the huge Diva Bombs. We just love to see those huge ultimates because those are kind of the moments that most resonate us when we're playing with the game for fun.
I mean, I still have 5-man Mercy Res saved on my computer, so they are definitely like the best defining moments of Overwatch and why we love the game, because we have these big flashy moments of just, hey, I did a thing. So heading into this next matchup of now on the defense and now on the attack, we're going to see Junkrat.
Trying to get mileage out of the Widowmaker.
I'm not even going to address it. We're just going to move past as Sutton is already doing so well on the attack, able to get a +2, and as Doc said, +2 means you're going to win the fight. +3 means you have a chance, but quickly trying to even it up with Soup on this McCree.
Well, Sutton does manage to get onto the point very quickly here. Ooh, very low on health, that Reaper, but isn't going to be taken out by Soup anytime. Now the Reaper does, oh, that was on his own team, go figure. But anyway, Burning still managing to survive. Tommaso does get the pick that we were looking for onto Neptune there. It's quickly followed by a bunch of others. Daydream and Burning eliminated by Shigohama, also taking out Dragonfire. Sutton has gotten the first point in great time, and now they're going to start their journey forward.
Also, I'd like to point out in that first team fight, a Nano was already used. The Nano was charged that fast, and they have 3 ults on standby with both DPSs at that 40 and 60 mark. Whereas Meridian on their side have 1. And the next closest is at Burning at that near 80%, closely followed behind Soup, who just beat him out by that charge, getting a couple shots landed on. So I feel like we're going to have to watch the supports of Meridian now.
Well, we'll see how they do, but right now Sutton isn't going to let those supports make any sort of play, as Depresso with that minefield is going to take out a Burning, continue pushing the damage onto Meridian Technical, as well as that Amp Matrix being thrown down. Now the Deadeye being brought out by Meridian Technical takes out Tommaso, who has swapped over to the Hanzo, which at this point I wouldn't be surprised if Tommaso has swapped between every single DPS possibly in the game at this point, as they have just been on everything. Right now, though, Meridian Technical still managing to hold Sutton to this corner.
Yeah, like I said, keep an eye on this Baptiste, because he has definitely been in the verticality playmaker for his team that has been keeping them alive so consistently and held on to his amplification matrix for a very long time, and it already has it back up to 90% for Sutton. So now with Dragonfire still having his this whole time and Soup at half health, we're going to start it off with the Shatter.
2 shatters, actually. There goes the second one from Neptune, but it's not really going to be a lot as Tommaso and Shigahama have already done great work for Sutton. J-Hope just putting the nail in the coffin by taking out Burning. Soup eliminated as well. And now Sutton has what they need to get to the second the first checkpoint, rather.
J-Hope and Shigahama swapped roles. J-Hope used to be the Zenyatta, now he's on the D.Va with the self-destruct, and Shigahama is now on the BAP, and he's been playing the D.Va. So it definitely seems like this swap has been playing in the benefit for both sides, as Burning's going to have to use that phase to dodge out the D.Va bomb, but instead Zoom Web's going to get the elimination onto Neptune, so no shatters are going to come out from either side, and same with the Nanos.
Ooh, and watch out for Burning here. I've seen this before. He's going to get caught up there, though. Before he can get one of those very sneaky Death Blossoms. But he has it in his pocket, so he's just going to wait for the best moment to use that right now. Speaking of having ultimates, Soup now just charging that Deadeye up right now. Both these teams just exchanging a lot as that Nano Boost is going to hit the Reinhardt. Depresso and Tommaso getting Soup and Burning, so the DPS is gone for Meridian Technical. Shigahama and Zoom Web just doing some nice cleanup work. They're taking out the remaining members, and we are going to be going into overtime with just about equal time. That's going to be the timer ticked down by half on both teams, so we're going into overtime, basically equal time here. Just what I wanted to see.
Are we playing Assault? Feels like we're playing Assault because we're having an exact mirror match. This is exactly the matches that I want to see from any league, of being this close, constant overtime, great ultimate plays from both sides, and consistent team play from both sides, and mistakes. More matchups, please. More. High school play is too mind-boggling to me, and I definitely want to touch on the fact of, broken record here, Tommaso has been a point of contention and a point of praise for Sutton.
True.
He has done terrible things, the Widowmaker, and he has done amazing things on the Sombra and even the Hanzo. He was able to make up that difference as well.
I kind of mentioned earlier, I want to play a game of just what DPS has Tommaso not been on for this matchup.
Torb and Ashe.
Yeah, Torb, Ashe, and Genji. He hasn't picked Genji either, so
yep.
We'll just have to wait. Get your bingo cards ready.
The last 3 spots to just completely wipe out the board. But heading over for Meridian Technical as well, they did not do any roll swaps like Sutton did. And Sutton, it seems the roll swaps have been paying off because they swapped the tank and support roles between the 2 players. So now with Meridian back on the attack, they're going to bring out a Mercy this time around with Burning on the Doomfist and Neptune on the far. So it looks like the tanks and supports on the ground is going to be 3 on the ground and 3 in the air practically. So Sutton is definitely going to have split target priority.
We see Neptune here on this Pharah, going to be pelting damage right down onto Sutton, but it's going to be Zoomweb who has the first pick on to Daydream, and once that Mercy Pocket is gone, the Forest falls soon afterwards. There goes Depresso with the mine onto Eternal Flame. That's going to stop Meridian Technical's first push.
Yeah, Zoomweb has actually been amazing on this Rhine as he's been winning the tank 1v1s. Even if it's against D.Va or the Rhine or any tank that Sutton has brought out, including the Zarya. He's just a good Rhine that's been able to constantly win it, as we're seeing multiple charge stunts between the 2, and he even is able to take out Burning. Zoomweb has definitely been one of the key players for his team so far.
Now this is huge. Sutton has already burned off half of the time that Meridian Technical has in overtime here. Both teams are going to throw down their Amp Matrix as well. It's a great shatter there from Zoomweb, stopping Meridian Technical once again, followed up by the Riptire. That is going to be, can they get the team web? Can they? Looks like Neptune is going to be able to escape just in time. They're just going to push right up the spot. Actually get him there! That is insane!
He didn't even go to spot. He just stayed in the corner where he could still be shot and never even try to get across. I only have questions, but the show must go on as J-Hope now has the D.Va Bomb on the bench and is going to open up with it immediately. Same with Eternal Hope having the shatter, but he's going to get a 3-man with it. They're just lined up against the wall. Where was the shield?
Wow. Okay. Birdie is he's using the Meteor Strike to just I'm done. This is it. There's nothing more that you can do. You've ticked all the boxes of entertaining Overwatch matches. I'm just done at this point.
and eats the entire Pharah ult. J-Hope on this Diva. Sutton started off not great at all on control, and then came alive in Hanamura and kept it going. Oh my. Meridian Technical started off strong and has put up a fight consistently, but it seems that both teams have their moments on defense, but Sutton does better on attack, but then they also do just as well in defense, whereas Meridian kind of has been failing on the attack, but does better on def. These teams are too evenly matched for me to say one is better than the other, because they've each had their moments, but I definitely think fatigue is setting in for them. Especially, like, you can see fatigue setting in with us as the casters, and we're not even playing. Imagine what the players are going through right now, and they're still going in a best of 5. With overtime in the past 2 matches.
Well, one thing that you probably haven't, that we haven't noticed in quite a while, is Sutton is at match point here. I mean, that is the crucial thing, and they just need one tick to win this match, to end all of this chaos, and finally end it with a W in their column. It is all up to them here. I am not going to see, I am not going to tolerate a tie here.
I mean, it's not possible because they have to match the same capture as they did on the defense. So I don't think it comes down to this. They actually get the point or they lose because they weren't able to match it. I don't think we can tie here because it is control. But the Sig, Orisa,
they need one tick. Okay. They need one. No, but Meridian Technical, they didn't have any point. They're at 0. They got 0 in their attack. So if it's 0-0 in capture for both teams, how does the game decide that?
I would assume a time at that point. Yeah, it's definitely going to be a tie then, but Depresso back on this Symmetra that we rarely ever see on King's Row unless it's a Statue of Liberty play. Neptune's going to go back over to the Pharah as well. It looks like Sutton's not going to push towards the points. They're trying to regroup, and a great anti and the Immortality Field is going to come out. So Meridian's losing a lot of their utility right now.
All right, half the time gone from Sutton's bank right now. They have managed to get onto the point. They just need to get to one tick, but Burning there with a nice pick onto Depresso there is going to give Meridian Technical what they need to get back onto the point. Tommaso fighting back by taking out Neptune. We do see the Amp Matrix thrown down, as well as the Nano Boost from Sutton onto that Reinhardt. They're going to try to be focusing down that Reinhardt. Look at Burning again, being the crucial defense here for Chigohama, but there it is. That's the opening that they need. Tommaso and Depresso. Soup trying to fight back, trying to maintain something on this point, but it might not be enough there. Yeah, it's not going to be enough. Sutton finally pushing on to the point, unless, okay, no. That Pharah was just going to try, but it wasn't going to be enough. It is finally over. Sutton winning in overtime there. 3-1. But that 3-1 does not tell the whole story in the slightest. This is probably one of the craziest, most entertaining matches I have ever had the delight to cover. I'm sure you agree, Brenner. Great win there from Sutton over Meridian Technical High School. Great job there. I don't have anything more to say.
I can say with confidence that in that final fight, Depresso won it for them, because in a double shield comp, having a Junkrat to burn through it and no Diva to eat up your bombs to prevent that happening, I think Meridian Technical definitely lost that due to their tanks having the Orisa Sig. Orisa Sig had never worked up until this point, even in the prior matchup. And I don't think Orisa Sig is strong enough to beat the Rhine Diva comp that Sutton had.
Whew. Well, what a great match overall. And I still think we have one more. There's still one more match waiting in the wings. That one just took all of our attention. Do you have any people that you just want to shout out as standout players?
Not Tommaso. Not Tommaso.
Wow, okay.
That Widow just haunts my dreams right now. But I definitely want to give it to Zoomweb on that Rhine. He was phenomenal. Like, he wins tank battles consistently, and Sutton had that team comp to follow him up consistently. And on the side of Meridian Technical, I honestly want to give it to their Baptiste. Shigo Hama. He was on the tank for a long time, but once they got into King's Row, he was that Baptiste, and he kept them alive for far longer than they should have a lot of the time. And having such a good support player like that, you have to highlight them.
Well, a great job there by both teams providing a very entertaining match. We're going to have to take a short break and then get right back to the action. So don't miss the final match that we're showcasing tonight, but we'll be right back after these messages.
Visit NationalGuard.com to begin your guard adventure.
Here are a couple lessons I've learned over the years. Friendships come in all shapes and sizes. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
They're also removing Brink's shield bash.
Welcome back to the Boise State Gamepans Esports Arena. We have just one more match to close out the night, and then we will leave you all to look forward to the Halloween party, by the way, which is tomorrow. You can see that on many of the monitors. Just wanted to give one final reminder before the big night tomorrow. You're not going to want to miss that. But right now, we are back with the Missouri Scholastic Esports Federation covering their high school tournament. And it's been kind of a reunion of sorts. You know, I know you didn't cover a whole lot of the high school of Meridian Scholastic Esports Federation, but for me, seeing all these team names that we've known, it is just sort of a homecoming, if you will. And now we see two more names that we are so familiar with: Wellington Napoleon, Wellnap, and Hickman, known for their mascot, the Hickman Cupies, one of the most eye-catching mascots of all time. Doc actually visited Hickman, if I'm not mistaken. He actually did pop by and give them a visit. There they are, the Cupies versus Wellnap here in Overwatch. We're going to see how both of these teams do tonight, and I don't know if there's anything they can do to kind of match the craziness that we saw in the last match, but what would you like to see? Is there anything else you would like to see tonight?
Bob. I want Bob. The hero to Overwatch that we all wanted but didn't get. Instead, he was an ultimate. So we haven't actually really seen any Ashe plays. We brought it up jokingly as like Tommaso hasn't played 3 DPS. But I actually really do playing the Ashe, especially with her Dynamite just lighting everyone on fire and then just having your giant robot butler murder everybody as you just sit back and relax. So I definitely would love to see some great Ashe plays because I do believe for this next matchup we are jumping right into it as it is in progress right now into the second match.
But before we get to that, we are going to go over Doc's keys to the game very quickly here because, as you said, this is a match in progress. Doc's keys to the game in Overwatch: never to take a fair fight. That means take fights in unexpected places when your opponents are unprepared and when you can have ability advantages. Doc's keys to the game brought to you by Drop-In Gaming, the premier online platform for gamers who seek competition. You can play your favorite games to win cash and prizes through free and paid entry matches and tournaments. Whether you're new to the scene or a seasoned veteran, Drop-In Gaming has the right tournaments and competitions for you. You can begin your competitive gaming journey at dropingaming.com. All right, let's join this match in progress here. QBs versus Wellnap, going right over to Dorado here.
Your favorite map.
Yeah, this isn't what I wanted to see, but we'll see if these two teams can liven it up.
And I bet they can for sure, as we're going to see the Echo Hanzo with the Mercy as well. So definitely going to stick to that verticality element that has been very key on this Dorado map. And it looks like they're also going to have a Widow on attack. Anyway, at least they have a Wrecking Ball to disrupt that high ground and try to contest it the best they can.
Let's wait. You know, if they get proper mileage out of that Widow, you know, let's not let past experiences taint our vision too much here. We're just going to see what has to happen here as Wellnap is going to be on attack first. We're going to see it's going to be Big AV, actually, who is on that Widow. We'll see how they do. Right now, it's Milkman Mason taking out Lazy Pastry. I love some of these gamer takes. They are so good right now. Lazy Pastry is the first one taken out, gets quickly rezzed there by Bean. Hickman is back up to full strength, but it's just trying to get some snipes from this upper vantage point, but they have to keep in mind they could get flanked from behind. But right now, Short Stack was able to get picked off there. Big Dingy taking out that lamp. Hickman going down one with Lazy Pastry being eliminated again. Wellnap has just slowly but surely pushed toward this first checkpoint. Thunder fighting back by taking out Short Stack there. This Echo trying to get some damage from above, but it's just going to be taken out by Mason there. And they're almost there. They're less than a meter away from that checkpoint. They need to get a few more eliminations here. They're going to throw out the rock, get rid of the lamp once again. Take out Thunder. Short Stack now breaches through the front line, and the rest of them fall soon afterwards.
The Milkman is delivering right now, getting a triple all by himself with Short Stack cleaning up the Hanzo in the middle of the road. Buzzer did use sights there as well. Same with Bouncing Bean using that rally, seeing as they don't have any ult percentage unless they swapped off, and I just simply didn't see it, which I believe they did. And same with Lazy Pastry going back to the Hanzo. So now 2 snipers on defense with both the Orisa Sig comp. I applaud Wellnap for sticking to this Wrecking Ball, who has just been able to disrupt them the best he can, doing it again, knocking them all up and getting a ton of free damage. Even though he already has the mines, I'm surprised he did not drop them there. And I wait to see Thunder open up with this grab and only land on one person. She's eliminated immediately.
Well, snipers now working out for Hickman, as well as Thunder and Frosted getting 2 left there. Going to send Wellnap back to respawn here.
Yeah, the high ground definitely working out for the double sniper comp, but if Milkman gets up there as the soldier, especially with sights, they won't have anywhere to go because they do not have as high mobility as you want to see from double sniper. But with the sights coming out from Big Gav here, they're going to have to play a bit farther back unless the sniper battles are going to ensue. At least Lazy Pastry has the double shields, and it looks like they're going to go immediately contest that high ground as the cart gets pushed back ever so slightly, and Short Stack going to knock them all down too.
Big AV winning the battle of the Widows there. Fellow sniper Lazy Pastry getting some payback there. Milkman Mason eliminating Frosted and Banjo as well. Wellnap has the advantage here. Looks like they're going to be pushing forward to the second checkpoint here. I don't really see anyone left of Hickman. Lazy Pastry is still trying to snipe up here, but is getting distracted from everywhere while Wellnap just kind of moseys on right past him. Is going to be fighting with Big AV here. Who's going to win the Battle of the Snipers? Just going to go right down and take out Widowmaker. But while he was doing that, Wisp and Short Stack were doing the big work here, taking out Bean and Frosted. Both of the supports gone for Hickman. They're going to throw out their Dragon Strike right onto the point just to try to stop, but it's not going to stop Wellnap from pushing toward the second checkpoint. Gravitic Flux taking out Banjo and Thunder as well. With no more front line left for Hickman, they are going to have to reset. They might get a stagger here, though. They are going to try so much onto Frosted here. Can they get the stagger? Oh, it looks like he just escapes.
Yeah, even had the Mortality Field up, and that now being on cooldown one is not what you want to see from the side of Hickman unless you get an engagement in and can get that cooldown timer even faster. And Wellnap also was a very costly win to get that checkpoint because now they have no ult advantage going into this fight other than the possibility of the sights at 60%. But Hickman at that 80 and 270s has a very good chance of winning this next team fight with ult advantage. They just have to burn through the very light shields that Hickman has. But with them just pushing the cart and not even contesting it, they have to drop down.
Yeah, this was kind of what undid Hickman in the second checkpoint as well. They just let Wellnap get so much push with that payload, so they are going to hold Wellnap here. But Wellnap just, now that they pushed it so far, they just need one more good contest and they'll have it. Ooh, and a nice stagger there. He's going to buy Hickman just a little bit more time.
Yeah, Wellnap giving up the wall hacks and going over to the Hanzo as well. Oh, but they did get enough ult charge there that for this next fight they will have the mines available and possibly the Gratific Flux if he can get enough damage output to charge it quick enough, whereas Hickman already has that and the rally to counteract any possible high damaging ult with sights close behind, so opening up this team fight to absorb any damage coming through and give extra armor.
But that armor is not going to be enough for Lazy Pastry as he gets taken out. A lot of Wellnap is going to get caught up in that Gravitic Flux there. Big AV getting the elimination onto Buzzer. Short Stack throwing out that minefield and taking out Frosted in the process. Hickman is now going to have another one of their tanks be eliminated, Banjo this time. And now Thunder, no more tanks for Hickman, and that's enough for Wellnap to get 3 points.
Yeah, they played that very well and a bit reserved, I would even say, as Hickman used their ults. I think they used that rally a bit too early rather as a re-engage. They used it to engage and hold them off, whereas they used even the Gratific Flux right off the bat when they were full health. That didn't secure any eliminations. So I think Wellnap played that phenomenally. So heading into the attack for them now, I hope Hickman will be able to hold them back a lot more and contest the cart.
Okay, I'm just going to do a quick request here. There's a method to my madness here, but production, if you can hear me, can you just preview so I can see out on the arena the rules to the game again, just for Missouri Scholastic Esports, so I can see the order of modes again? Because I think it was Control, then Hybrid, then Escort. So if we're seeing Escort right now, and it's going to a map 4, which would be Assault. Okay, so if we're seeing a map 4, then that means, I just got confirmation there, that means the score between both of them since we entered mid-game should be 1-1 through deduction here.
Math.
Math and logic. There we go.
My brain's too fried for that.
Yeah, I just...
That's why there's 2 of us.
Yeah, I was going into Ace Attorney mode there, saying, well, in fact...
Objection! Also, the entire attacking team is all on the edge if a Lucio was there for the God boop. But he's not. And one will go around for the rotation as well, as the battle's going to start off screen, and no one's even going to go for the cart, but instead contest high ground and go for the kills. We're playing team deathmatch.
It certainly looks that way. Yeah, they're not even pushing it. Where's the payload? You're not even near. What are they even trying here? If they're running a flank, they're just waiting for just the right moment. Okay, they're gonna meet Wellnap up here. We're gonna see how that works out for them. I would hope it does because it's such an unorthodox strategy. I just have to root for it. But here we go. Hickman pelting them with a lot of damage. Immortality Field thrown down for Wellnap to keep them alive, and Pick Dini gets the first pick onto Buzzer there. So Hickman now is going to have a harder time pushing this payload forward. If they even get back to the payload, they're burning up so much time here to try to win this team fight. Thunder going to get taken out of their mech. Milkman Mason has already charged up their tactical visor, which is really good for him. He's just going to use it in this first engagement because Hickman has nothing to counter it. After this, he's just going to tear through all of them. 4 with that tactical visor. He's going for 5 now. Can he get the penta? He's going to try for it. Can he, though? Oh, she just rates away. No, no! Oh, okay.
Went for the suicide.
He's going to consider it one at that point.
Oh, I would too. I mean, you got them to commit seppuku at that point, so it's a win-win situation. And especially that she had coalescence and going for the reset, buying even more time as they're finally deciding to at least have a member on the cart and push it to some extent. And also Banjo on this Winston, you'd expect him to be jumping up and contesting it a lot, but actually it's going to be the Diva pushing the cart by herself, who can't even crouch behind it for cover. And the Sombra trying to get a little bit of poke damage on the side. Gonna have to watch out for these 2 support ults coming out, as they're the only ones up, with 2 more close behind for Wellnap and the Primal Rage. Hickman's gonna open up with that Coalescence.
Opens up with the Coalescence here. And there goes the Amp Matrix as well. Big AV has charged up that Dragon Strike. It's gonna push it through that choke point there, forcing Hickman to kind of try to get out of the way there. Now they're back on point, and Bouncing Bean is going to take out Short Stack there. Rally used by Wellnap. Double Diva Bomb there from Thunder, giving Hickman what they need to keep going into the plaza here. Banjo's also going to use that Primal Rage. Bouncing Bean gets another, taking out Turtle Man. Banjo eliminating Wisp, and that looks like they have gotten rid of just about everybody they need to get to the first checkpoint.
Yeah, Hickman actually did it really well with Banjo and the Primal Rage, perfectly knocking Milkman into the Diva Bomb range as he was trying to crouch behind some cover there. So Hickman definitely having that coordination to say, hey, if I can't eliminate him, I will have you do it instead. But now Wellnap has the high ground advantage with that Hanzo, and Hickman has no sniper on there to contest it. So they will have to try to use their boosters and leap to contest it, as 3 members already on the opposite side of the building up top, as only 2 press it, and a 6-man EMP is going to kick off this team fight.
Wow! All of them there, but they're fine. Okay. Okay. I guess I was a little too excited for that one. Well, here we go. Turtle Man getting a pick onto Banjo there, stopping Hickman again. It was certainly a flashy EMP, but you got to have that follow-up for it.
Yeah, I honestly want to say it's because the 3 team members were on the other side of the building. When she went in and hit it, they already had to start rotating to at least match her when she got there, but they started after she EMP'd, so they simply did not have the timing for it, and only having the Sombra push the cart as the rest of the team is contesting up top and is going to try to speed right into them. They're going to speed right into a Death Blossom.
Yeah, it's enough for Hickman to get the early advantage here. That Coalescence also going to take out Milkman Mason, and they also burned off some of the ultimates from Wellnap, forcing them to use that Gravitic Flux. So overall, good fight there for Hickman.
Yeah, Hickman is now left with only the tank ults soon to come if they can charge him that quickly. Same with Buzzer, trying to get close on that EMP with both supports committing and the Death Blossom. So now Wellnap's going to answer with all of the Heralds.
But it doesn't really get anything for them. Lazy Pastry's the only one to get an elimination thus far. Amp Matrix also thrown down. Now we'll see how this Diva Bomb can do. Doesn't pick up anybody. Primal Rage also used by Banjo to knock Milkman right off of the edge there. Rally used by Turtle Man. After 3 of your teammates have already been eliminated, not sure I like it for that reason. But
yes. Oh, so go ahead.
Oh, Lazy Pastry gets the pick onto Big AV there. And that looks like it is going to be it for Hickman, but the spin to win is actually working out pretty well for Wellnap there. Yeah, and they managed to buy enough time to get themselves back onto the point. Another huge hack from Hickman there. Is there going to be the follow-up this time? It does look like there is much better follow-up. Milkman Mason almost eliminated there. Does manage to heal up. And Wellnap, despite that good showing from Hickman, is still holding the QPs to the second checkpoint there, taking out Banjo and Frosted. That looks like it's going to be enough finally.
Yeah, they only have 40 seconds to regroup and go for another re-attack. Milgram almost gets the elimination onto that Sombra, just chilling out by herself. So now, Wellnap does have both DPS and the rally for this next side, whereas Hickman at best will have that Primal Rage and Death Blossom. Maybe beat if Bouncing Bean can charge it quick enough. But we will have to wait and see how quickly this Lucio is able to dish out a little bit of damage and get the charge with his heals. As Wiz, all the way back at Swan, is finally going to go for the swap over the Baptiste. Needs that Immortality Field to try to stay alive the best they can and contest this cart against Hickman as this team fight is kicked off with a ground pound from the Wrecking Ball.
Hickman is even going to, yes, okay, they have managed to touch the payload, so they do at least contest it there. There goes the Dragon Strike thrown out by Big AV, as well as the Visor and Rally used. Primal Rage was also used by Banjo, but it wasn't enough to protect him. It looks like they're going to try to turn it around with that Death Blossom. Doesn't do anything. That's a little bit more familiar with how my Death Blossoms work out. So that's the Death Blossom that I have known. And Wellnap is going to win that and drive themselves to match point.
I think after that 6-man EMP that didn't get enough value, you should have swapped off that Sombra because she was not having the DPS output that you needed to eliminate the multiple targets, as well as the Soldier on top of the 2 supports with that healing. I think that's where Hickman went wrong there.
Well, if you want to be seen in great team outfits, then you want to look into Skulls. Skulls, since 1999, has been providing great equipment to high school, collegiate, and professional levels of play. If you want to look into making your team look their best, go to Skulls right now. Check them out. Okay, we're heading into match point for Wellnap. Close this out and end us for the night. We're going to be ending on Assault here. So last time we saw Assault, it was Hanamura, but if there's been one pick that's been the most when we have seen Assault, it's been Temple of Anubis.
Yeah, and Temple of Anubis has definitely been the favorite of higher up collegiate leagues as well, with how more variety it gives for attack strategies once you pass that double archway, and it allows defenders more strategies to defend since they have to defend against multiple different attack strategies. It's not always just going to be asymmetric teleport and engage as quickly as you can. It's going to be a lot more vertical, and hopefully not everybody just going through that left hallway right out of attacker spawn, which is kind of the broken record we see so consistently throughout quick play and through the evolution of Overwatch. Now we can see people speed boost directly underneath through the archway directly onto point, or try to break through the right and contest high ground. So Temple of Anubis definitely has that variability that we hope to see from these high school teams.
Well, let's find out indeed what the choice is. It is going to be Temple of Anubis, so it could go to a really drawn-out overtime fight, or it could be they can't even get to the first checkpoint. You know, it seems like it's one of those stages where it just depends on what the mood is for the day. Sometimes it just won't let you play. Won't let you play the game.
Yeah, we saw Wellnap there at last second swap over to the Baptiste, and Baptiste is almost required for the first checkpoint of Temple of Anubis when defending, because he can just get right on top of the ledge that we can see right on the left side and throw down his Immortality Field, throw down all the healing, and even some DPS when they do finally rotate around, if not underneath him. And it takes so many resources to try to get around that corner and then knock him off of it that he's almost a detriment if he dies because of the defense point here. We also see a lot of Anas here further back and sniper plays. If anything, this is going to be one of the few maps that we could have the possibility of seeing an Ashe. And I believe we finally will.
Yes,
Buzzer!
indeed. Buzzer's the one.
And the Torbjorn, two that Tomas did not play. And immediately we're going to see the Torb get the pick onto Big Gav on the Widow. Proud of the Torb sniper.
And this is going to be a little bit of a hard situation for Wellnap. They got to push through that narrow door with so much being focused onto them. And hey, speaking of speed up the DPSs, we haven't seen Big AV making it happen by swapping over to the Genji.
Temple of Anubis is definitely where these DPS heroes shine a lot brighter than most Assault maps. Turret going exactly where the Baptiste should, but it looks like the Baptiste is going to stick with his team and throw down that Mortara field right at his feet to protect the tanks the best they can, but he lost his life first, so being down your main healer, things are not looking good for this defense.
Well, we do see that Gravitic Flux getting a lot of members of Wellnap, so kind of stopping them from getting to the checkpoint right here. Bouncing Bean and Thunder are going to be eliminating Wisp and Short Stack. Hickman has managed to at least stick with some sort of defense here. We'll see how they keep defending here as they are able to get rid of Pig Dini with Thunder.
Yeah, the 1v1s between the six have definitely gone to the side of Hickman so far. And the Orisa finally has been working out in this defensive situation for Temple of Anubis as the Genji's in the backline trying to 1v1 her. Not going to really work out in his favor, so he's going to have to back out as we see one ult for both DPSs so far, and the support ults coming online for both sides as well, but Wellnap's going to have the advantage and open up with the rally.
That is a great start for Wellnap. Huge tactical visor again from Milkman Mason following. I believe he was able to get a quad with that. Oh, he doesn't even see him. He just walks right up into Banjo's face and clicks on his head.
Yeah, support ults came in clutch there because the whole time he had the visors, he even had the amplification matrix in front of him, hence why the Baptiste was getting every single assist for those eliminations. So will we see the snowball from the Sisol as Big Av almost dies from a little bit of poke damage, as is the life of a Genji, but he does have the blade, but no nano to follow with it, and is the only ult on the side of Wellnap, whereas Hickman has the 4, almost 5, and 6 close behind. The Wellnap attack does not seem like it will go strong here unless they get the right picks.
Well, they're going to use just a little bit of everything here. Molten Core, Gravitic Flux, and Amplification Matrix. That Genji Blade is actually going to get rid of Bean there. Big AV is stopped shortly after that by Frosted. It looks like Hickman has been able to hold them at bay, but really, at this point, Wellnap they have enough time that any sort of engagement they can just burn off multiple ultimates from Hickman might be enough for them at this point.
Yeah, Bob is online for Hickman, same with the Banjo and the Rally, so they will have answers to the Gratific Flux coming out from Wellnap, as that is the only ult that will be available for this team fight unless it lasts long enough for Short Stack to charge those mines and use them to contest the point. But with 2 members up on that high ground, the mines will not be able to hit him unless he's flying in the air to get the spread out that he wants. So they go for the charge and he's able to get it as this team fight kicks off with the grab.
Gonna get a lot of people from Hickman as well. Wellnap has already pushed on to the point, has gotten one. We do hear Bob finally making his appearance. Looks like Thunder with the rock was able to take out Pig Dini. Look at that from Lazy Pastry and Buzzer as well, getting rid of Wisp and Big AV. That's going to stop Wellnap's push, but really that's kind of sort of a victory for Wellnap, just getting 1 tick. It's a very hard second point to take.
Yeah, especially since this is game point for Wellnap in this best of 5 and they're at the 2-1 mark. The pressure is on for Hickman as they only have 2 ults going into this next team fight. Gratific Flux not that close behind, and Wellnap still has sights and mines on their end with the Amplification Matrix coming online as well, so they're going to open up with the mines to stall the push from Hickman.
Yeah, but Short Stack able to make his presence known on that point. They're just gradually taking out the lamp and the turret. They finally get an elimination with that amp matrix, but the dynamite onto Big AV is going to keep Hickman holding them for now. Milkman Mason taking out Thunder. He's been doing great thus far, getting a double. They almost have their second tick. They just have to get Bouncing Bean off the point, and that they do. And now that's the good victory for them, just 1 at a time. Lazy Pastry with a double, though. Nice.
Yeah, came right out of spawn and immediately threw down the turret and put all the DPS into Milkman, who had been the mainstay for the Wellnap attack that round. So able to come out with the defense, especially on Temple of Anubis. This final point is defender sided with the spawns being not even a couple feet away. And now Buzzer swapping over to the McCree, same with Bouncing Bean back on this Brig for the rally. And now Thunder over to this Roadhog, giving up that extra shield and the Gratific Flux that hasn't been getting that much value. I do think it is the right choice here. And Milkman's even able to get the early pick on the Frosted. This is looking like a good Hickman defense if Frosted can come back in time.
And they're going to have that little bit of extra armor to help deal with that Molten Core that already took out Big AV. But Thunder getting rid of Short Stack. But look at Milkman. He's been the clutch player. Right now, all he has to do is keep the members of Hickman off the point so they can get some charge for that third tick. Doesn't look like it's going to work out here, though. The Amp Matrix is thrown down. Lazy Pastry taking out Milkman. Turtleman as well. Bouncing Bean also getting a shield bash onto Pigdini. That's going to hold them for now.
Frosted did exactly what I said. If he was able to come back in time, Hickman could hold this because he had that amplification matrix, threw it down, and Lazy Pastry was able to clean them up, being able to split their focus between the turret and himself, being able to consistently land shots with his gun as well. So now, Wellnap going into this final push with only 16 seconds on the board. It's going to be down to Big Gav with this Blade not even having nano at all versus the Bongo and Deadeye. So we might see a possible deflect play coming out from these players because anything is possible.
There goes the Deadeye is going to take out Short Stack there, just going to take out that turret first, then looking for some healing right there. There goes a nice hook, is going to take out Pigdini. He uses the Genji Blade, but he has to deal with that immortality field. Well, he does manage to take out Frosted, but that's going to be the end of his journey here. I don't think Wellnap can really green anything out here to get this third tick. That's going to do it for them. They're going to have to settle with just 1 point and 80%.
Now it's down to their defense on the first point and how long they can hold it. And even if they do lose it, now they just have to hold Hickman off for that 80% as well. So pressure is on for Wellnap, unless we want even more overtime to head over to map 5 that we have yet to see.
Well, we'll just have to see how it turns out. If Wellnap can put on a good enough of a defense here, they can still end this.
More Ash, more Bob. Sadly, we did not see a Bob play of the game. Bob actually didn't even get an elimination.
No, did Bob even hit the field is the thing, because I heard the voice line, but it might have been a thing where they press Q and then right immediately after was eliminated, so it might not have, finished.
Could have been. I never did see him on the map, so hopefully we will see the redemption of Bob on the defense, because Ash is actually an amazing sniper for this map, being able to throw the dynamite down onto the point and continue firing as well. The only downside being the world's longest reload, but that's what you get with a repeater. So, heading over to the Wellnap defense, I'm also very curious what they go for the tanks. We saw the Orisa Sig from the side of Hickman on their defense, and now they're opting in for the Sig Wrecking Ball this time round. We've seen Wellnap definitely bring out different tanks that we've seen all night with the Winston, for sure, and it looks like they're definitely going to stick with the Wrecking Ball. Wrecking Ball has definitely been the mainstay for a lot of the collegiate teams right now with how much chaos he can cause, and it looks like they're going to do the mirror match for tanks and stick with the Briggs as well for both sides. But Wellnap, since they're on the defense, they have to stick with that Baptiste so he can get the vertical healing from multiple ledges that just can't be contested by Hickman. So heading into this team fight, I would definitely keep an eye on both Big Gav with this Junkrat, as he could just lob so many nades for so much team damage, and Wisp on this Baptiste for all of the healing, since it seems Wellnap is going for a very vertical team.
No eliminations thus yet. Milkman Mason has to keep in mind, it looks like he is aware, yeah, he was aware of that Wrecking Ball that could get the flank there. It's going to be Lazy Pastry getting rid of Big AV. That's a good start for Hickman there. Lazy Pastry is going to be taken out as well. Milkman Mason evening it out. Both teams at even right now. A great play from Banjo and Thunder. The tanks really doing it for Hickman. Banjo's going to be eliminated by, again, Mason there. Buzzer getting rid of Pigdini, and now with Mason gone, I think Hickman has well and truly gotten this first point.
Yeah, not as long as a defense that you want to see from Wellnap, as Hickman gets a pretty clean sweep there. So it is all down to the second point if they'll be able to snowball to it, or if it's going to become an all-out siege for these two teams. The Junkrat grenades come flying out to stall him the best he can and charge up that tire, only at 50%. But with Milkman having the sights and the amplification matrix at 70%, it is possible we can see that Wombo combo come back out. Same with the mines from Short Stack. He's been able to charge it very quickly with this Wrecking Ball. So we're going to have to keep an eye on Milkman with the only one having his ultimate for the side of Wellnap.
A little bit of a split push here for Hickman. Throw out the pulse bomb, doesn't get anything. Short Stack is going to use that minefield, get mowed down by Lazy Pastry with the punch to the face. Another punch from Milkman Mason is going to eliminate him.
Right as he ulted as well, if you heard the sound bite, so he lost his complete ultimate.
Hickman, wow, they might Okay, I think they might just be able to get their first tick here. But the respawn is so fast here, it makes it hard. I don't know if they're going to be able to do it. They do. Okay, Wellnap does contest them here. Hickman is so close to getting it. Well, Buzzer getting rid of Turtle Man. Pick Dini eliminated also by Buzzer, who has the double. We heard Lazy Pastry also bring out that high noon to stop Wellnap, and Hickman gets it.
Going to a map number 5 for Hickman versus Wellnap. It may be a lot faster than the overtime of the previous match, but map number 5.
Well, it looks like actually that's just going to have to remain a mystery, just because in terms of replays, it looks like there might have been an error with recording that 5th map there. So unfortunately, we aren't quite going to know how this ends, but we do know that it was a great showcase nonetheless of these two teams, players. And overall, do you have any final thoughts for that match or the night as a whole?
I hate Widowmaker, and I want more Ash.
Okay. That's fair.
Honestly, I want to highlight the tank players, mainly the people who main the Reinhardts, because with those big shatters, they were able to determine how the fight went and how long it went. They were able to keep their team in the fight, even being down 2 or even 3 members for much longer than they should. And same with the heals. We were highlighting the DPS the entire time, but we saw on Watchpoint Gibraltar on Daydream that Mercy was alive for way too long, and having a good support like that keeps your team alive for way too long and let them win multiple fights. So shout out to both the Reinhardts and the supports.
Well, we're going to end tonight with the top 5 plays of the game, brought to you by the Idaho Army National Guard, who invites you to take your critical thinking skills into real time. More than 10 jobs offering a $20,000 bonus and your degree of choice paid for. The Idaho Army National Guard is one of the best teams to join out there. Reach out to them on Twitch at iGuard Gaming. For now, though, enjoy your top 5 plays of the game. Have a good night, and we'll see you tomorrow for the Halloween get-together. We see a little bit of a zoning Deadeye there, which is going to stop any sort of contest here, but there goes a minefield is going to be put out by Brett, and a double bomb there from KC Vet is going to be enough for Blue Springs to win this back. Now just as he remains on the point is taken out by Banley. That is going to be a team kill for Blue.
Well, if Nano comes out to start off this fight from Sutton.
Looks like one good shatter deserves another. As a triple flame strike, now make it quadruple for Zoom there. Make it 5 there. Can he get an ace? He pulled off an honest-to-goodness ace. My goodness, what a Reinhardt and what a play from Sutton. That just might be enough if KC Vet can survive on the point. He is. The Dechok goes in, takes out Banley with the punch to Blaze as well. Getting the double, now the triple. Look at Dechok here fighting that Pilot Diva, unable to survive. And that's a quad for Francis Howell in spectacular.
On the bench and is going to open up with it immediately. Same with Eternal Hope having the shatter, but he's going to get a 3-man with it. They're just lined up against the wall. Where was the shield?
Wow. Okay. Birdie is he's using the Meteor Strike to just I'm done. This is it.